Hi, Chummers. Canis here. I just wanted to take a few moments to give you a bit of an editor's note and an update. As our avid listeners have already found out, we've had some audio issues, a few more than one would normally expect. It was due to the vulgarities of the internet and the fact that we are recording across 3 different continents. We have a couple of months worth of content before we switch to a different recording system. So please bear with us, and we hope it doesn't hamper your enjoyment of our show. As an aside or an adjunct, I am fairly new at this podcast editing, and I am still learning the best way to edit and post-production on a podcast for publication. So please bear with me and us as we go through this. We are all determined to provide the best experience we can. We will do the best we can with what we have. Stay chill, Tremors. I'll see you in the 6th world. Vector, have you managed to plug all that stuff into a spreadsheet?
Yeah, thing is I don't have money anything else besides the synaptic booster. So I'm generally thinking I'm gonna save money and bulk up.
I wouldn't worry about the synaptic booster just yet. Do your other stuff first.
Yeah, I don't have money for that either. I can get it to Alpha 2 or something. I'm generally thinking I'm gonna bulk up and save money and just do something as maybe buy both the toner and the augmentation at once.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so it sounds like everyone's got their downtime done.
Yep.
Well, out of character downtime.
The ferret doesn't poop in the house. It can run around in the house. I'm done.
Yep. Okay, so after 2 weeks, or roughly thereabouts, Cat is feeling, wouldn't say better, he's feeling like he's recovered. He now sees the world very differently, and he hears the world very differently, and he smells the world very differently.
We smell so much better now.
Or worse.
Oh, no, you all smell much mouth-wateringly good.
Except Wayfarer.
Yeah, except Wayfarer. He just doesn't have enough of him left. So who has been staying with Cat for the last 2 weeks while he recovered the virus?
I've been staying there. I said so last time that I went with Cat after we arrived at Southampton. I got to take care of him.
Okay.
At least for a few days or the first thing. I think I can train my magic skill while I am at the farm.
Yep, you can.
Yeah. So I'll take care of Cat, and I will train my magic after this.
And Farron would have visited him from time to time.
So advanced.
Okay.
I will also eat all of Cat's food.
Well, he can't anymore, so...
Oh, so nice of you.
Yeah. Yeah, all of those lovely organic vegetables and fresh milk. And,
I know, right?
Horrible to get now.
I think there is a 2-week period where all of Cat's senses are starting to get enhanced, but he still can deal with human food, that he becomes a really good cook and then not anymore because, loses that perspective.
Well, it's not just that. It's also he becomes a really good cook, but you have to be careful because any bodily fluids that ends up in the food, you may well get it yourself. So, yeah.
Well, am I infectious right now? Before changing?
Virus, you are infectious in the sense that any bodily fluids from the time the 3rd diseases test was failed are infected.
Is that how this one works? I mean, yes. Different viruses work differently.
Well, the virus is already there. It's rewriting your body to meet its needs. That's that 13-day period. However, you are infected. You are fully infected. You just haven't manifested all of the quality and weakness, but you're still infected. So from that point onwards, from the point you get infected, you are infectious. But again, only bodily fluid, sexually transmitted. So you can still, bodily contact and stuff. You just don't go kissing or having sex, bleeding on it.
So don't bleed on me.
Would you mind bleed into my mouth?
Does spit count?
Yes, it does.
Or sweat?
Yes, any bodily fluid. It's the virus.
Damn.
Yep.
Sweat, that's unusual.
So I'm not watching any of Cat's clothes.
It has the virus, but basically you're talking...
It's magic. It's not just a virus. You have to remember that.
It's a magical retrovirus, so it's a bit weird.
How can I heal Cat then?
Shoot him in the head?
You can't.
No, I mean, if Cat gets shot and I try to apply first aid...
Yeah, don't.
You would do that the same way as you would with anybody else. You don't touch people's blood when you are applying first aid. That's what you have.
Well, you do,
gloves.
But first aid kits have gloves and stuff in, so although you might want to hand the first aid kit to Farron, but
I mean, you could do no gloves with anybody else, but then you would end up being having hepatitis and God knows what.
So wait, if the one who's applying the first aid has a chemically fitted or chem suit, does that count as well?
Chem seal will protect you.
You probably should clean it though before you touch it from the outside.
Yeah, I mean it is.
Well, it probably doesn't
still
survive too long on air.
Yeah, it is still an injection vector, so it does need to get into the body. The problem is if you have cut on your finger. Yeah, I mean I cut my thumb on the foil the foil container for a Chinese meal, which means I can't not wear gloves. Yeah, because I have a hole in my thumb. So it's that kind of thing. And in combat, things happen. In life, things happen. So yeah, it's a case of you need to be very careful with your barrier protection, but anyone with formal first aid training would be meticulous about those anyway.
So why giving the first aid kit to Farron? I don't have first aid.
Because you have cybernetic arms.
Ooh.
It's a bit difficult for a virus to get into your blood through your arms because there is no blood in your arm.
So wait, then
So
wouldn't Wayfarer be okay because he's more of a robot now?
No, he still has flesh and blood. It's just a lot of implants.
I
So
have ortho skin.
It is about
that's-
that you still.
which thing
just-
that touches the infectious stuff. Like if you have a cyber arm and you touch an infected person, you can't get infected because in contact with your blood. I think.
Yeah,
Like that,
basically.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, same as if you had a cyber skull, you could actually no, cyber skulls still have blood in them.
Yeah, they kind of need a brain in them.
Just maybe.
Well, it's not that. No, it's not that. Cyber skulls and cyber also has a casing. They don't remove the organic system like they do with arms and legs. Arms and legs, they cut your arm or leg off, place it with a completely synthetic implant. Cyber torso and cyber skull is a cybernetic casing that goes around the existing organic material, the organic organ, body part, whatever. So it's just a metal outer. Once you get past that, there is still blood and tissue and organ.
It's also possible that they put the skin back on the outside around it. In some cases, maybe.
If it's a synthetic, it would be synthetic skin for synthetic cyberware.
So wait, is there a possibility that a person dies during the transformation because of shock?
No.
You can die if you have less than one essence, though.
Yeah.
Or if you, with certain ones, like strain 1, if you resist it, you die. If you don't resist it, you turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Whereas
strain
for
1 is
that's vampires, completely different thing. For the other two strains, so long as you have essence of 1, you will not die. There used to be rules where you feral, but that's changed. But yeah, you cannot die from it as long as you have 1 essence. But even if you have 1 essence, less than 1 essence, you can still burn edge to survive, but you would be a carrier.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's basically, the way I interpret it, if you get infected with strain 2 or strain 3, burn edge to survive, you burn edge so you don't change, but you're still a carrier, so you get carrier negative quality. If you get infected and you actually beat off the infection, there's no record of it ever, so it's not in your blood anymore.
Yeah, but wouldn't burn edge be you beat the threshold before net hits, just as if you rolled it?
Nope, because that won't actually have an impact on the disease. You have to reduce the disease's power to 0 3 times to not be infected.
Yeah, you can smack down the disease, but that also requires another 2 rolls that have to be really good.
Yep.
So that would
And
be
if
something
you
else.
if you only get 4 hits, that for strength 2 and 3, that still means 6 added onto the 10 the next time.
I mean, I guess if you
It's,
were down to only needing 4 hits and you wanted to ensure it, you could do that, but that's a bit of an edge case.
Yeah, and also that's not really, it's like burn edge. It's not smackdown when you burn edge to survive or to not become infected by these things. It's a specific use of edge that's in the rules for the disease.
Yeah, no, I mean that you could smack down under the very specific circumstance of only wanting 2 hits. I mean 4 hits, because you already got the rest of whatever.
Yeah, on the 3rd test if you wanted to, yeah. So anyway, a couple of days after you return home, Venus and Wayfarer speak to various contacts and go into Gene Tank. They then spend the next month as a vegetable floating in a vat of gunk. When they're finished floating...
Can I bribe someone so that instead of adaptation, Wayfarer gets like a gender reorganization?
If you were to pay for that, You could probably try. They can do the both at the same time.
No, they should just take the money he paid for the adaptation and do the other stuff instead. Would be funny.
Kind of bad for business, but funny.
Yeah, bad for business.
I had to try.
Yeah.
Okay, after Wayfarer and Venus leave their tank, they spend a day in surgery and then a few days recovering their injuries, and then they are good to go.
Did we just skip the whole Christmas and lecture?
No, we didn't. I was just covering them too because they're the easiest.
Okay.
2 weeks after Kat got infected, so after you return back, it is the winter solstice, the 21st of December, 2078.
Yay!
The morning of the 21st, Kat wakes up, realizes that it's daylight outside, says fuck this for Game of Soldiers, and probably rolls back to sleep because, Kat doesn't like daylight.
Well, technically, I changed on the 22nd.
Oh, is it 22nd? Okay.
Yeah, it worked right like that. It was really
Okay.
okay.
Okay, fine. In that case, the final day that he's in will be the solstice.
That's nice.
You get a call probably about 3 or 4 days beforehand from Eddie No, the druid who heads up the Burnham Boys' magical menagerie of magical stuff. He's a druid. He's met Kat. He knows Kat's a druid, and he invites you along to a...
Cat's a druid?
Yeah, Kat's a druid. He invites you along to their usual solstice rite. It will be the last time that you see daylight without pain for the rest of your life. Do you go along?
Am I already, how clear is it that I'm changed or I'm going to change?
You are almost... The sunlight annoys you, but it doesn't cause pain for about another day.
I'd probably thank him and explain him how things are overall. Probably wouldn't go into detail. Actually, yeah, that's how Kat feels, like he's going back and forth on this. But yeah, it's probably a good idea. If nothing else, because he'll have to work with them again at some point.
So you're saying, sorry, can't come. I turned into an abomination against nature. Sorry.
You're not going to have a real chat soon. No, I'll tell him I am sorry, but I have stuff to do with Kat, and I don't think I'll be up for seeing many more sunrises. Yeah, anytime.
Okay. He seems somewhat taken aback by your comment about not seeing many more sunrises, but he gives the address anyway for the location. There's a small clearing in Burnham Beaches that they use for those rites, surrounded by trees, animals, and all good stuff. He says, if you want to come along, come along. If you don't...
Okay, frag it. I got infected and not changed yet, but it's about to happen. So I don't know how your people like that or how they would react.
So you're a ghoul now?
Lugaru, and about to, not quite yet.
Okay. Well, so long as it isn't your 4-day period, more than welcome to join us. Just don't...
That's a relief. Yeah, I might join you after all.
I mean, Kat hasn't forsaken you, has she?
No, not yet. I haven't changed. I'm changing. If everything goes according to my count, I'm changing tonight.
Okay. Well, it's up to you. So long as you haven't changed who you are as opposed to what you are, that's fine. You're more than welcome. Bring anyone else from your team you feel would enjoy a post-modern neo-druidic solstice celebration.
I will pass the message on. Just for my, conscience, can you make sure that nobody is going to freak out if I show up?
So I know everyone there. You won't be the only infected, actually.
Yeah. And Kat actually sounds more like upbeat about that. That's good then.
Yeah, as a kid I found a few years ago, he's a good kid, mostly typical teenager.
All right.
Yeah, it's entirely up to you. Obviously it'd be nice if you came. If you can't for reasons, then I'll understand. I'm assuming you're going to be having devotions of your own, regardless. So you're welcome to join us. If not, have a good one, and I'll see you around.
Yeah, I think I'll show up. I'll spread the message, see if anyone in my team feels like joining into the debauchery. I mean, religious observations of the truth.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'll see you then.
I'll probably look over to Lycan, who's staying over. Do you feel like joining neo-druidic religious solstice ritual thingy?
Wow, sure. Sounds exciting. Ian, what do I know about solstice ritual?
They tend to be orgies.
They tend to be orgies.
Yeah, well, okay. let me rephrase. They tend to be parties. They
Yeah.
are a celebration of the coming season, in this case, winter.
The coming season.
Yeah. There's usually a lot of dancing, drinking, eating, some ritual, stuff happens.
Whatever you just said, I did.
I said there's dancing and drinking, it's a celebration of the coming season. There will be animal sacrifices in the sense that an animal will be killed and then cooked and eaten. So think of it as a religiously fueled barbecue that starts at about 4:00 on a winter.
Okay.
You also probably know that the spring equinox in March genuinely does turn into an orgy most of the time.
So, like in the last cat, do you have to take part in everything that will happen at that place in that ritual?
I doubt anyone will give you any trouble if you don't want to dance.
Okay. Well, yeah, sure. I can go. It sounds interesting.
And I will send a message to the rest of the team. I'll tell that I've been invited by... Shit, I cannot remember the name. By this guy to the thing.
Eddie No.
Yeah.
Eddie
I've
No.
been invited by Eddie No and has asked if anyone on the team wants to come. Me and Lycan seem to... Well, I'm going and Lycan seems to be interested. If anybody else wants to, they're welcome.
Okay, you get messages back from Venus and Wayfarer's comlinks saying, I'm unable to take your call at the moment. Please leave a message after the tone. Beep, or something to that effect.
Can we actually be in VR while we are in that tank?
Okay, yes, you are in VR. You will be basically given a chip that lasts for the appropriate amount of time. So it's basically sensory deprivation with VR options. It's basically a BTL, but not BTL feedback levels, unless you want it to be. If you want to actually be in VR, you can, but there will be some slight drawbacks, as the system will basically be isolating you from your body, and they don't recommend it because your entire DNA is being rewritten, including your brain.
So if you get biofeedback, you are isolated from your body?
Yep, so it does 3 times as much damage.
Some nasty.
Yep.
Everything is black ice.
Basically, yeah.
I might pop into VR from time to time. Maybe not all the time, but I don't know. Actually, maybe I'm just going to be offline the whole time. I'm not sure. Well, it would probably be an induced coma, I guess.
Yeah. Basically, it's an induced coma, which it's not an induced coma because you are still conscious because your brain still needs to be working fully, but you'll be hooked up to basically a sensory replacement.
Yeah, I meant if I'm not going into VR, then I would be out. I would not actually experience myself floating in that tank and can't do anything about it.
Right, okay.
But yeah, anyway, Venus won't be able to attend, unfortunately.
Okay, what about Farron and Banshee? Are they going to attend?
No. Banshee will reply, thank you, but no thank.
Come on!
Depends. You said there's a high chance that Farron will meet Connie's parents this time.
Christmas. This is
Christmas. Okay, still, the two of them live together in Farron's house now, right?
Yep.
It depends if Connie wants to do anything. If not, then yeah.
Yeah,
she's allowed to come with.
She seems quite happy. She's never been to a Druidic solstice rite before, so it's a new experience for her.
So, will I be the only one who's not magically active there? Banshee asks.
I have no clue.
I mean, I could go, but I just feel like I would be the one weirdo who's not magically active.
You're always the one weirdo, Banshee. We love you nonetheless.
Fine.
It's not like you aren't the only one who isn't magic and is going there.
Fine, as long as there's food and beer.
There should be.
Also, the solstice reminds me of a Norse fest, but I can never remember.
Yes, it's basically the same thing, the British version.
Yeah, I don't think you have to sacrifice 7 animals and 7 humans for this.
No.
Well, I mean, when you think you're being invited, you shouldn't have said that. Not yet.
Told you!
No, I think Celtic wasn't anywhere that great on the human sacrifices.
Oh, I think they did that too. I'm not sure, but I think most early religions had it in some form or another.
Okay. The night before the ritual, you will make your way there. Burnham Beaches is a very large beach forest. It actually was the first tourist attraction in the Burnham area. Many years ago, people would drive along Brunel's God's Wonderful Railway and get off at the Burnham station and walk the 2.5 miles or so to Burnham Beaches and would partake in the lovely nature. There are now car parks and a few other things. You find a car park that's got a lot of other vehicles in it. Cars, vans, bikes in winter are particularly hardy folk. You make your way, there's signs ecologically friendly attached to trees, twine and stuff as opposed to tape or staples or anything else. And you find once you get there, it's a fairly large clearing, probably about 12 to 13 meters across, and in it is what looks like a small stone circle, probably about 7 or 8 meters across in the middle of the clearing. None of the stones are particularly large, the largest of which are about 3/4 of a meter tall, sticking out of the ground. Around the edge of the clearing, there are several, temporary tables with soft drinks, alcoholic drinks. There's a couple of craft breweries that have turned up to peddle their wares. There's a barbecue and a few other bits and bobs. There's, sandwiches and salads. It literally does look like a traditional sort of British summer barbecue. However, it's currently about 5 o'clock in the morning on a cold December day. There's frost everywhere. Everyone's breath is puffs of warm water vapor, smoke, fog, whatever you want to call it, as they're talking. Few people are wearing, most people are wearing appropriate clothing, hats and scarves and gloves and fleeces and, really thick boots and socks and everything else. Eddie is stood with his 2 apprentices, and they are in druidic robes, white sort of ankle-length robes with sashes and belts and things. Eddie has several of his usual accoutrements of magic about him, belt pouches with reagents and, usual foci and everything else he carries, the same with his apprentices. There are about 4 other people who are dressed similarly. As anyone who wishes to or has the ability to sense notices that one of them is awakened, the other 3 are actually mundane. So it looks like there's going to be 7 people in the actual circle performing the rite. There's children around. There's it looks like 3 or 4 generations of people just come along to have a party and welcome the winter. The party atmosphere is already going by the time you get there. It's feeling like like it's going to be a good party. There's already a bit of an ambience building, and people are chatting and laughing and joking, and there's smiles on almost every face. Over in one corner, as far away from the food as possible, is what looks like a 14-year-old child. If you pay particular attention, you can see that it's a boy. He's got very white-grey skin. The cold doesn't seem to be bothering him hugely. He has no hair on his head, and he's not wearing a hat, and his eyes are, he has cyber eye. He's also wearing very, very thick gloves. Fairly soon, the atmosphere starts getting going. Some people have brought some sound system music going on, and it's not loud, but it's enough to sort of, to lift the ambience to that next level. Kat and Lycan, you can both feel a background count is forming, expected towards celebration and happiness and joy. Kat, you felt this before. It's the same sort of thing, not quite as powerful, but same sort of thing that you felt when during the cleansing rite for those areas in Manor Park where you fought the toxic. Banshee,
This is the night of the 20-21?
Yes.
Okay.
So Banshee is quite pleased to find out that there are people selling cider and mead and ale, and there are soft drinks available. Connie quite quickly goes and starts trying the various beverages on offer, finally settling on a fairly nice locally brewed mead.
Ben's gonna buy some cider.
I am going to get some meat.
Get some cider.
Yeah, they're not charging. They do limit you to fairly small glasses. It's not pints, half pint glasses, but they're not. They've got plenty. They're not hugely worried. You get the feeling that this has been laid on by Eddie No and his circle. It gets to about 40 minutes before sunrise, and Eddie and his associates go into the circle. And in the circle, you see that there is a pig. Actually, it looks like a wild boar. Actually. Quite large, fairly muscly as wild boars tend to be. Big tusks. Looks like it's quite, a lot of meat on this animal. It's staked to the ground with a muzzle, and over the course of the next sort of 20 minutes, 30 minutes, the actual rite itself is performed. And just as the sun crests and bathes the clearing in the circle with the first rays of the morning, the boar is killed by Eddie. And those of you that aren't awakened, that act seems to lift the mood of the party to another level. Cat and Lycan, if you're actually perceiving, you'll notice that it's basically a blood rite that has lifted the background count to a 2, but it is aspected, and you are aspected. It is aspected towards the party. Definitely not one of the bad uses of blood magic, by far from it. The rite ends not too long after sun bathes the clearing, and the animal is taken by 2 of the mundanes to the various to an area where it is butchered, and they begin to cook it.
Excellent.
For the next 4 hours or so, food and drink flow. There's dancing, there's laughing, there's singing. Some of the music is contemporary 2078 pop music. Johnny Banger, his greatest hit, I Do What I Want, is belted out many, many times. There's some Jet Black, some Maria Mercurial, plenty of Shield Wall, some Johnny Nuclear and the Meltdowns, all of the classics of the last sort of 40 years. There's also some older music, some new age music to just sort of change the tempo. And, anyone who wants to dance, the dance it's like a dancing ring around the stone circle. No one other than the members of the Druidic Circle go into the circle. You notice that's quite clearly a thing. But there's dancing, there's laughing, there's cheering, and it's just a really, really, really good party. And everyone there is filled with a sense of joyous expectation for the season ahead. Winter doesn't seem so bleak. The cold isn't as cold. It's not biting. It doesn't permeate into anyone's bones anymore. It's just good. Cat.
That's like I punch anyone in the face because they try to make her dance.
Oh, I don't face, but I'm not very good dancer.
If you want to dance, you're welcome to. That would be an agility plus gymnastics roll.
Oh, if it's agility, then I'm probably a very good dancer.
Oh, that's nice.
I will.
Connie and
I'll
Farron
see.
will
I will
make her
try
dance.
to dance.
Colin definitely dance.
I thought it'd be.
Which is why I thought that maybe seeing that she's just hanging
Okay.
around, Connie and Farron will try to make a join.
Let me dance. Okay,
I'm
2
not-
hits on dancing.
Do you want me to roll 2, Iron?
If you're dancing, yes.
Wait, is that agility plus gymnastics or just...
Gymnastics is agility.
Yeah, agility plus gymnastics.
Nice.
Oh my god, Banshee.
5 hits.
Banshee is the best dancer.
Banshee has a hidden talent.
Come on, Farron.
Oh no.
We have enough time to recover, so
Oh my god, you're re-rolling that?
Come on.
it's not like we are going on a run anyway. So,
I want to be a best at something, goddammit.
and I have the time to recover it.
It
Farron,
doesn't
don't
surprise
forget
me
you get-
really that Farron is a very good dancer.
Farron, don't forget, you get +1 from your tail.
Oh,
And Lycan, I believe you have a balanced augmentus, so you also get +1.
oh, that is
Banshee usage. You need to be the best dancer.
1 hit. Why did you make me re-roll that?
No, you could have just rolled an extra 1. Actually, I think, does Banshee have a balanced augmenter? It doesn't.
No.
But yeah, it doesn't? Okay.
Okay, even though the like in the agility is very good, she is not a very good.
It doesn't
And
matter, though.
it doesn't surprise me.
You could have boosted your agility if you really...
I could have boosted my agility if I really wanted to, but it would last for a maximum of 5 combat turns. So it's not like I can dance very good for a very long time. Anyway,
This is true. Although some people might have appreciated seeing a shamanic mask, but hey. So those of you that dance, you're not the worst, you're not the best. I mean, there's clearly some people there who, are like, agility 2 and rolling 1 die, but no one cares. Everyone's having a good time. Even the kid, the bald kid, in the corner, or not the corner because it's a round clearing, but even the kid who was on his own and when you turned up, he gets involved, and at one point he walks over to Cat and says, "So, are you hungry?"
Dude,
Yeah and no. I haven't changed yet. Not quite yet.
Okay, fair enough. I was going to say, because obviously we can't eat or drink anything here, so I've got a little something, but okay, cool, no worries.
It's ask me tomorrow this same time and I'll tell you yes.
Okay.
How long have you been infected?
Carried the 2 since I was 3.
Hmm.
So about 10 years.
Okay. Guess that's
Uncle,
something.
there was a warren of ghouls who were not very nice, and they decided that my family was really tasty, and they took us. And Uncle Eddie and Uncle Twinkletoes came and found us. Well, they found me.
I'm sorry, but Uncle Twinkletoes is something I would never expect to hear, and just that image is really making me laugh. I can imagine him carrying a tiny 3-year-old around. What metatype is he? Is he a human?
He is, yes. He's
Yeah.
he's fairly scrawny 13-year-old human boy.
Yeah, I very much appreciate it, though. I'm going to have to figure out, the whole meals thing.
Yeah.
How do you usually do it?
Well, I get meat and I eat it.
Yeah. Do you buy it from someone? Do you?
Yeah. Uncle Eddie and Uncle Twinkletoes know people that can get me food.
All right. Well, I expect you're gonna see me some from now on. I have to learn how to live as an infected. Hey, you might get you as a teacher.
He kind of looks up at you with a wide-eyed expression. Why? What could I possibly have to teach you?
Well, I've never been infected, and you have, so you have quite a lot of advantage on me that area.
Oh, okay. He seems to smile at this point. It's as if you've just validated his existence in a way that no one else ever has before, and he's pleased. He's happy.
Can I ascend him, see if he's awakened in any other way than being infected? Are the infected technically awakened? They have magic, right?
They have a magic rating, but they're not awakened. They're dual.
I assume the change hasn't happened yet. You hit.
Yep. It is. He is not awakened. He's just a ghoul. His magic is lower than yours, obviously. His essence is the same as yours, and he's very happy right now. His aura is bright and glowing, rich, vibrant colors of joy and contentment. You also see that he has cyber eyes annotated.
Did he tell me his name? I forgot already. I don't think he did.
No, his name's Martin.
Yeah, Cat will extend his hand and offer for a shake. Name's Cat? What's your name?
I'm Martin.
Nice to meet you, Martin.
He hands you an ARO. An ARO appears in front of you, and it's his comm code. If you have any questions, call me whenever.
Yeah, I most certainly will. Yep, I'm gonna be in touch with you. That's for sure.
I should point out that since the sun's come up, he's now wearing basically a full face balaclava and what looks like it's a ballistic mask that isn't a ballistic mask. It's a full face mask with respirator and eye shield, but it looks like fairly flimsy material that's not going to offer any ballistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Nice to meet you, Kat.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah, awesome. After 4 hours, so 4 hours or so from sun up, which I think at that time of year is getting on quite close to noon, actually. The party seems to be fading out. A lot of people left relatively early. Looks like some people were up early to go along before heading off to their work or whatever. Some of the kids were dressed in school uniforms, so they were off to school afterwards. But yeah, if you want to stay around to the end, you help Eddie and the other guys clear up or slope off at whichever point you feel is appropriate for you.
Cat will certainly stay. He has to talk to Eddie about Martin and how he organizes, how he deals with the whole food stuff and whatnot.
Okay. By the time that most people have left, Farron has a fairly significantly intoxicated young orc on her arm. She's not having a problem standing up, mostly. She's a bit unsteady on her feet as she's trying to walk. The last time she tried to dance, she fell over. But she's just really she's a happy drunk.
Best kind of.
Yeah, I guess I better bring her home.
Okay, unless anyone was going to drink to excess, I'm not going to worry about toxin resistance.
Everybody else at Banshee.
Well,
yeah, everyone looks at Banshee, including me.
Everyone looks at Banshee. If everyone is leaving, Lycan is going to ask Kat you want her to stay or if she should go home or.
I'm gonna stay a bit longer, help them pack up and some of this stuff. You can go home. It's okay. I have my
you will
car.
be fine.
Yeah.
Right then, I'll see you at home. Thanks for this experience. It was was fun.
I have to say I'm a bit disappointed that no one tried to make you dance and you didn't have to punch someone in the face.
Well, I did dance a little, but I'm not a very good dancer. Actually, I thought this would be more orgy-like, if you know what I mean. I am.
You thought I was inviting you to an orgy?
I thought so. Yeah, that's what I heard about
Well,
Druidic rituals.
guess
you know?
I should be. I should feel good about you accepting them.
Well, that's why I asked you if I had to take part in everything.
That makes so much more sense now.
I know, right? But
Still, I feel like I should take this as a compliment.
Right, you do that, Cat. I'll see you at home.
So yeah, I will ask Eddie about how he procures food for Martin, and he knows any other ghouls and the like. That a community that he could introduce me to, people I could help.
Sorry, you're asking who? Eddie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eddie explains that there is a community of ghouls who have chosen to live away from temptation as much as possible. They live out in a compound in the Chiltern Hills, sort of near, in between, sort of off the beaten track, near a village called Goring. There's probably about 6 families there, children and mainly adults, but there's a couple of older people as well. They have arrangements with several legal and not so legal groups to assist with cleanup. Some of them are fairly well trained in forensics and that sort of thing, and they have a mage who knows a few healing spells and stuff. So they manage as best they can. They're not well fed by any means, but they get by. As far as Martin, we have an arrangement with one of the organisations that this ghoul community has arrangements with, and we have a further arrangement where some industrial waste, should we say, finds its way into our hands, and we sort of spread it around. Martin and a few others that live around here, and obviously the guys up in the Chiltern. We help as much as we can. It's not enough by any means, but it's better than starvation.
It's more than many would do.
I don't know. I mean, they're people too. They have just as much right to live as anyone else. It's not as if
Have to convince.
yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is, it's not as if we go out killing people. But if we get hold of anything, then it goes to them. I suppose some of it will go to you now as well.
Yeah, I would certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, although in your line of work, I imagine you may have access to a little bit more food than most.
Yeah, I will be installing a walk-in freezer very shortly. And yeah, in any case, if any of these groups needs help or anything comes up, let me know, okay?
Yeah, definitely. Something that I heard, I'm not sure if you've heard it. There's a farm I think it's near Chicago, and they have some innovative farming technique. I've heard whispers across the matrix of I don't know. I haven't been to the US, so maybe not the US. Oh, what do they call themselves now? The UCAS. Yeah, America, whichever. Yeah. But maybe if your travels take you to that part of the world, then maybe look them up or see if you know anyone that has any contacts over there.
I'll make sure to take note. And think I'm going to sit here and look at the sun for a bit.
Yeah, don't blame you. It's going to be literally painful to you in a few days' time, won't it?
According to what I've read, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I could live with that, but well, I know I could if I had to.
That's it. That's basically it.
Okay, well, take care, and if you need anything, give me a shout, and I'll certainly get the milkman to stop by.
Thank you. I very much appreciate everything.
Yeah, anytime. Oh, whatever happened to that axe? I noticed you aren't carrying it.
I visited a good talismonger I know. She's really, really good at her art, and she didn't quite like how it smelled, how it felt. Maybe it had some of that toxic waft about it, so I swapped it, basically. I'm waiting for
okay.
She's the one that made, and Cat will actually take the collar out of his pocket, because he wasn't wearing it, just in case something really, really wrong, and he will show the collar, the weapon focus, not the weapon focus, the power focus.
Oh, so you've been dealing with Madame Zhao.
You know her. Yeah.
Every awakened person in this country wishes they could get some of her items. She is, well, you've seen what these are like. She is a master craftsman.
Well, do you know how she feels about, infected?
As far as I'm aware, she gives about as much of a crap as I do about it.
That's good to know.
You'll find that most of us, he sort of gestures between the two of you, feel the same way in this country. There's obviously always bigot, small-minded people who don't, but yeah, they're people. They're Britons. That's all that matters.
I've been offered by friend to be put out of my misery repeated times, so I feel a bit
And who was that?
One shouldn't say.
Okay.
Yeah, I left me a bit worried about how people perceive the infected.
I think a lot of it stems from fear. Fear that they're going to get infected, or fear that they're going to be eaten, or but yeah, I've never had an issue with the infected at all. I've had issues with infected people, but I've also had issues with uninfected people, so I'm not going to hold that against.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know. Definitely.
Well, I must be going. I have a prior engagement that I've realised that I'm actually running a little. If you need anything, you got my number.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. And yeah. I hope everything works out. If you need anything, just give me a shout.
Will do.
Eddie and his two apprentices head off, leaving the other members of the circle and a few other people to pack up. One of the people from the breweries that bought some of the alcohol offers you a drink because they don't want to take a full cask home. But
no, I think I've had enough and won't have much use for it, and so appreciate it though.
Okay, see you in 3 months. We need to get some Galax. The spring ones are always much more
Yeah. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, definitely. I know the summer ones are also.
Take care, boys.
See you later, mate. Have a good one. And yeah. He hands you some augmented reality business card.
Okay.
They're a small brewery in the area. They make mead, ale, cider, and they're even attempting whiskey. But there isn't any ready.
Nice. Yeah, at that point, Kat will probably find a comfy place, maybe against a tree, and try to meditate and reach out to Kat, the big one, not the two-legged one.
What did you use your chosen follower ability for this seat here? What did you choose?
True spells. I think at some point, maybe even like Cat doses off and has. I don't know how the totem would play it, but I'll learn true spells. Albeit allergy to sunlight. And what was the other one? The sterilize.
Okay, fair enough. As you're sort of napping in the sunlight, Kat would place the knowledge of those spells formally in your head. So when you wake up, you are able to cast those spells.
Which you interpret as Kat decidedly not forsaking me and even being helpful.
You get the distinct feeling that Kat actually approves, because now you can literally play with your food.
Shut your mouth. Shush, that didn't happen.
Oh, it happened.
That's no trouble.
Okay, so let's see. The next couple of days passes. Are Kat and Lycan going to visit Madame Zhao before or after?
It would be after Christmas, as Lycan get it.
Well, you could have done 2 weeks.
Okay, fine.
Kat would go after changing, and he's okay with taking a few more days. He'd like to visit the community that he just learned about and some other things. So
okay, we're doing it after. I would like to stay at Kat's place while he's changing to take care of it.
Okay, that's not a problem. Are you staying there after he's changed, or are you going to go back to your own house?
I'm probably going to ask him afterwards if he's going to be okay, because I have Benjamin as a husband. I'm also going to celebrate Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any place to celebrate Christmas yourself?
I wasn't thinking about it.
But you can't stay here alone.
Well, I can.
Yeah, but you shouldn't.
Just like an.
Should I try to ask? She's hesitating a bit on this. Should I maybe try to ask Pinky and Ribbon if join on Christmas? I can try. They can always say no, but I would probably have to tell them about your current condition.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to, drop my food requirements on them by surprise. But no. I don't think I'll be quite busy myself. I need. Are
you sure?
Yeah, you are.
I feel bad if you're celebrating Christmas alone.
It is very, very thoughtful of you. Thank you, but I'll be fine.
Okay, you say so. So Lycan is going to leave Cat, and then
Okay.
she's going home because apparently Cat will be okay.
Christmas rolls around, and the 24th, Christmas Eve, is frantic. Everyone buying presents, getting last-minute food stuff and drink stuff and more drink stuff and food stuff and more drink, maybe with an extra present or so. Yeah, usual Christmas Eve in Britain. Christmas Day rolls around. I'm assuming Lycan would. Are you going to spend Christmas Eve with Ribbon and Pinky, or just go over for Christmas dinner today?
I think I'm going over to Christmas dinner on today, and then I'm probably going to a party on.
Okay. The Christmas Eve party is raucous and party-like. Everyone has a good time. I suspect Banshee spends Christmas Eve drinking in the Copper Horse.
Well, technically for Banshee it's not Christmas, because, he being an Orthodox Christian, it would be on the 7th of April, so he'll probably do nothing unless someone calls him to go out or something.
Well, I will call everyone and ask if they want to Christmas party with me at the Copper.
Then he will go to the Copper Horse for the party.
Okay. Connie is actually working that night at the Copper Horse, but her and Farron do drive down early this morning to her family's.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think Quarters had just said something, but it couldn't get through.
Yeah, I saw his light, but... And again, Venus, are you trying to say something, or is your mic just going hot?
Oh no, I'm just editing some stuff here and pressing the control key.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess if Connie has to work the evening, then Farron would be Copper Horse too. If she survives the meeting with her parents.
Oh, that's the following day.
Oh.
The best thing to do in the inn for the first time is have a hangover.
Mm-hmm.
Spoken like a true Briton.
Yeah, let's try to avoid that.
So come on, Farron, join me!
I already said if Connie has to work anyway, then she will be there.
Join the dark side.
Just not getting a hangover.
Of course you are.
It's tradition.
Most definitely is. Even Ribbon's drinking excessive.
Wow.
Yeah, but Ribbon doesn't have to meet the parents of somebody who she never met before.
What I just said, you have to have a hangover.
It will make it funnier.
Yeah, or maybe not, but it's, okay. So if you are like grumpy or hungover or feeling little bit under the weather, when you meet the in-laws, you can only make it better the next time. That's the worst argument in the world. But, okay, I do not have any good arguments other than you should get a hangover. Because, maybe if you drink so much that you are still drunk today, it will be funnier and easier to get, and you will be more charming.
I am also if you really want me to fuck this up.
Well, all of this will be arguments that Lycan will make to make you drink. On Christmas Eve.
I never said she wouldn't drink. It's just said that she wouldn't drink too much. I mean...
I will try to make Farron drink too. Oh.
You just want to get her clingy
just
again.
the right amount.
You just want to get her clingy again.
I just want to have fun and relax because I can feel that she's tense and nervous about this whole meeting Connie's parents thing.
Oh, but I already see Iron laugh, an evil laugh.
But it's entirely up to you. If Farron doesn't want to get drunk, Lycan will of course try to get her drunk, but she won't force her to drink. She will push her a little bit of pressure, but not force her to do anything.
I'd say you have to convince Connie not to stop her from drinking, unless Connie would find it funny too. Which kind of thing she will.
Well, Connie is a bartender. She likes to make people drink, I assume.
No, she doesn't.
No.
She's required by law to stop when they get to.
Okay, there's a law that you have to drinking. Right, that law didn't exist when I was a bartender. Or at least it existed at the bar where I was working.
It exists here.
It probably won't in 2070 something.
It probably will still. I can't imagine things changing that much. Connie, though, actually, those of you that are there, give me a judge intention.
Judge intention.
Everyone? It's there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just fine. It's the hiccup. Like I'm already drunk.
I think it's perfect.
Charisma plus
2 hits.
Same.
3.
Okay. Farron, you know, you live with her and you know that she's a little bit nervous of you meeting her parents.
Oh, only nervous.
Lycan and Banshee can't quite pick up on that. They don't know Connie well enough, really, and alcohol and everything else.
Either way, Lycan will try to convince Farron that everything will be fine, good, they're probably nice people, they will probably like her because what's not to like?
Well, there are people that don't like elves.
And elves that don't like people. So it might be neutral.
Okay, but seriously, Farron, their daughter is an orc, so they are probably not human or something like that. So it'll be fine.
We can just hope it will be fine. Anyway, about the drinking, especially if Connie is kind of nervous, then she will be moderate with the drinking, not to get a hangover or anything. Or if then one that doesn't last that long.
Does that true?
Only if Iron says I'm going to drink too much. I just stated that I actually won't.
Yeah, you all are able to stick to your own personal limits. You have a good time. It's Christmas Eve. Everyone's happy. They're looking forward to basically what is an 8-day weekend essentially for most people.
8 days.
Well, yeah, because most offices, people working retail and services, they still have to work in between Christmas and New Year. Everyone else doesn't.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, so
Fucking
everyone gets a 4-day weekend. Those people that don't have to work in areas where it's required, they get basically a 9-day weekend.
That reminded, we talked about Farron asking Ribbon about a suitable present for
I'm getting a present.
Okay, yeah, if you want to do that after the shops are shut on Christmas Eve, you're more than welcome to.
Well, I couldn't even do it before because you just skipped everything.
I didn't skip everything. If you want to have done it before then.
I obviously would have done it.
Okay.
So it's like I want to ask her, it's already Christmas, let's ask her right now. It would be stupid.
You'd be surprised how many people wait until then to ask, actually.
Yeah, but they're knobs.
Yeah, if you contacted Ribbon, she would have mentioned a few odds and sods that she knows that Lycan would have wanted, but, nothing, trinkets, knickknacks, stuff like that. Unless you specifically say, I was thinking of, unless you say a budget or something, she'd just come up with, small knickknacks and trinkets that you could get down the shops for a few new yen.
We talked about Urban Pro game, was it right?
Yes.
So, I don't know, Farron wouldn't even know about her liking anything of the sort, so, although she could have asked her if there's anything like some performer, sports, anything that she liked that she could buy her tickets for, something.
Well, Lycan's a fairly sporty girl. What's her favourite football team?
I haven't decided.
Okay. Well, you could get her.
Unfortunately, I haven't decided yet. I sat down and did up some time during this week, and then I completely forgot about it.
Okay. Well, licensed team jerseys are 750 new yen. Unlicensed ones are 500, and they are armoured.
Oh my god, that would be so cool!
They are like
750
armor jacket.
Not quite.
Right? No, it's like
only
armor
8.
No.
Oh, but it's still armor. It's so cool.
Yeah, and it's armour that gives social bonus when you're at the sporting.
Oh, right. We can go to sports bar. So from now on, all our meetings with Johnson will take place in some sports bar.
Yeah, but we will need 100 different
But
jerseys.
in the right one, of course.
So yeah, that would be a team jersey for her favorite team.
If you can afford it, it sounds very expensive.
750? Expensive?
That's quite expensive. That's a quite expensive gift.
I look at my New Year and I see I have more than enough money.
Okay, now we have to find it like it. Seriously.
Yes, because that has to be specified in the item hero lab.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. In that case, Ribbon would mention that Lycan's favourite team is
Plank.
Blah. Yep. And she'd love a jersey because her one is old, not the current year's colours.
All right, then she would have got her one.
Do we assume that the same exists in the
Yes.
27? All right.
Excellent.
Most of them in the UK are like 50 or 60 years old by this point. So yeah.
Yeah.
Can't imagine they could disappear.
It makes sense.
They might not be in the same league. Well, they won't all be in the same leagues they're in right now, but yeah, they're still in it.
I think Lycan's favorite from around the place grew up. So I have to look it up in that area.
One of the Birmingham teams, maybe. So Aston Villa, West Bromwich Albion, Birmingham City.
How can you remember the name?
Cultural brainwashing.
Damn.
Okay, I don't really know a few of the names of the Danish ones, even though not that much. I know them from cities.
Oh yeah, dwarf tossing is an adjunct sport to rugby. I mean, hell, that was established in about 2012. The British Lions toured to New Zealand.
Yeah, but in this case, the dwarves would toss the trolls.
Think about something for Cat too.
Aston Villa is actually
Meh.
Nah.
What does Cat like? Animals, human meat?
Human flesh. I'm not kidding.
It would be kind of a weird present. Hey, I found you a human steak.
We found you a dead ganger. Go nuts.
Don't ask me where I found it.
Come on, at least give him a live one, then he knows at least it's fresh.
You're really making it hard for me right now, Kat.
You should ask him if he likes elves or trolls.
I don't want to...
I don't think at this point he knows which one's his favourite.
Yeah.
Buy an assorti, like a piece of everyone, a piece of troll, a piece of dwarf, a piece of human.
Buy like a troll's head, a dwarf's leg.
Can I make a judge intentions roll to figure out something that Kat would like?
Not really sure judge intention appropriate. More memory. I mean, there's a good chance that he's a fan of football as well.
At the very first run, he didn't show any interest in the football match I was running through it.
Yeah, I don't think Cat's very much into football.
Rugby,
Oh.
cricket, Quidditch. I mean, usually, if you don't like football, you like rugby.
Maybe he likes
No.
Quidditch.
Quidditch isn't a real sport.
I know.
It probably is in the
Benji can-
sixth world.
Banshee can think it is one.
Haha.
Yeah, one hit on memory test. I think
they should invent Quidditch.
You just
we
have to.
We have magic. So
You just
why not
have
Quidditch?
to enchant the broom as a sustaining focus for levitate, and then you go.
Yeah.
You just need to make a game for VR and be done with it.
Yeah.
Oh, it totally
that-
exists in VR.
Well, officially, Quidditch doesn't exist in Shadowrun because Harry Potter.
Meh.
Well, don't forget, Shadowrun's an alternate timeline that diverged before Harry Potter existed. And
Yeah,
so
but
it's an IP, and to pay royalty included it in the book, so they cannot ever do that.
They can't
No.
mention it though.
it exists.
Not actually as Harry Potter.
Change a couple of letters in the name of the book and
So
everything goes
Quidditch.
well.
Quidditch, and his name would be like.
Larry
I don't
Gardner.
think it's like when you mentioned Crimson, like you made a reference to the book. I don't think if this was released, you would be in breach of any kind of IP law, like at all.
anyway,
It's not something that I've really needed to concern myself with. All I know is at the moment, Harry Potter doesn't really exist in the Shadowrun canon. But we can include stuff. I mean, if you want to have Quidditch on the telly, yeah, it's fairly easy to do with Levitate. Wouldn't be anywhere near as good, but
Well, everyone binds an air spirit and uses the movement. Come on, you can't do that.
don't think Quidditch is good at all.
no, never really did anything for me either. It was more of a, oh, look, blatantly obvious prop trope. But hey,
Yeah,
what I think about Quidditch is you have two teams fighting against each other, making scores, but you have that one guy in each team that more or less plays for them for his own, trying to get the golden whatever it's called, Quidditch thing,
Yeah, thingy.
snatch, whatever. And if he gets it, he wins the whole game for his team. So
Yeah,
why even bother with a normal
yeah,
game? You can just get after it.
It's basically like playing football, but there is like a tiny golf ball on the hidden somewhere, and who finds it wins the game.
yeah,
Anyway.
it's complete, doesn't make any sense at all. It's complete bollocks. And so we were including it.
Yeah, anyway, for Cat, it will be maybe something Cat related, like a really nice necklace, because I wouldn't know what else to get.
Really nice, but sorry.
A nice necklace that's Cat related or something else.
I'm gonna be wearing so many things on my neck now.
It doesn't have to be a necklace.
Yeah,
Could
with
also be
a
armor.
little bell on it, so we hear when he sneaks up on us to eat us.
I already have one with a bell.
His power focus already.
Yeah, but this one is one he can't take off because it explodes if it does.
Oh my god.
Right.
So, Suicide Squad style?
It's the best Christmas gift ever.
The one that kills you.
Well, and if he takes it off, then it's obviously because he wants to eat us. So yeah. Also, I'm not here
So-
because I'm still asleep.
Yeah, you're still a vegetable in a tank of DNA
Ooh.
vector fluid.
Pickled Venus. That must be yummy.
It's not very salty, but it's not a true pickling brine. Following morning is Christmas Day when Lycan goes round to Pinky and Ribbon's place. She finds two very excited children, one 8 years old and one 9 years old, both girls, running around playing with new toys that Santa brought them overnight, and insisting on showing Auntie Abigail.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Or Abby.
Yeah, insisting on showing Auntie Abby all of the new stuff they got from Santa, and then you all open presents and eat, do whatever it is your family does on Christmas, and have a very enjoyable day. Farron, on the other.
Yay!
Here we go.
If he says on the other hand, it will be a disaster.
Did Farron give her gifts to the team members she gave gifts to before Christmas so they could open them on Christmas Day?
Mm.
Okay, so Lycan
Lycan is excited. She's also very surprised that Farron actually bought her such an expensive gift. She will probably call Farron at some point, but she also knows that Farron is at Connie's parents' house.
Early Christmas morning, perfect time to get up if you're Farron and Connie, and then climb into the car for the drive round to Essex to meet Connie's family. You get there and the house is, it's a medium lifestyle. It's a fairly nice neighbourhood. It's sort of a blue collar type area, former council estate. There's lots of cars and, loads and loads of cars. There's not many cars on the road because they're all parked outside of someone's house. You find when you try and park your car. Eventually you park up and you walk over. Connie's quite nervous at this point. She's not sure how her family's going to react.
She never told her parents about Farron?
She told her parents that she's bringing her partner.
Oh boy.
But that's about it. She knocks on the door and she
didn't tell her parents that her partner girl, or did she? Or do they already?
We'll find out.
Or an elf, or a cyber up person. Like in the sixth world, there are so many things to be bigoted about.
Also, she is an elf. I mean, that's obviously the biggest problem, I guess.
That's what I think too.
So you feel Connie's hand in yours tighten. You think if you had meat hands, it would probably be breaking your knuckles at this point. But your cyber arms are more than up to the challenge. As she knocks on the door, and there's some rustling and shouting children, and the door opens, and you see a middle-aged orc, male, fairly rotund, portly. It looks like he's definitely experiencing middle-age spread at this point. He is quite fat, with a skinhead haircut, freshly shaved, looking nice and skinhead for Christmas morning, because that's what people do in their own homes, apparently. So my family keep telling me. So freshly shaved, freshly made himself look nice. Knocks on the door, opens the door. And he
smashes the door.
No, he sees his little girl and gives her a hug. And Connie doesn't let go of your hand. He notices, and the smile that was on his face just dies as he looks at you.
Boy.
And he holds out his hand. So you must be the partner, the significant other.
She takes. Oh, the chat right. She takes his hand. I actually don't really know how to try because you make it so obvious that he isn't really pleased about this. She takes his hand and says, "Yes, my name is Farron. It's nice to meet you."
Farron, okay. He returns, or when you put your hand in his to shake his hand, he gives you an incredibly vigorous fist shake or handshake. Again, you feel what your cybernetics are telling you would be dangerous levels of pressure. Obviously, like father, like daughter, both of them are fairly strong, even though he's clearly obese. He's still very strong. He's an orc. They're strong. He says, happy Christmas. Come on in. And he turns around and bellows, "Connie and Farron are here, love." And he sort of stands aside and gestures for the two of you to walk in. As you walk in, you are suddenly aware of 5 footsteps, 5 sets of feet moving at incredibly high speed towards where you are.
Those must be the children we heard.
Yep. Initially, your combat senses sort of try to kick in, but then you realise that they're quite small, and so unless they are militant ninja children, you're not hugely surprised when five young orcs from the ages of about 15 down to about 6 launch themselves at Connie, and this is the first time since you got out of the car that she's let go of your hand, as she catches and or hugs and or is almost bowled over by each one as they launch themselves at her, and she gives them all a hug and a kiss, and says how nice it is to see them, wishes them happy Christmas. They wish her happy Christmas. Then after the kids or her siblings have finally finished their simultaneous shouted, bellowed, hello, greeting, pleased to see you, Merry Christmas exchange, you see a middle-aged orc woman come out of what smells like the kitchen, and she sees you stood there with her little girl and her other kids, and she says, so you're Farron. Pleased to meet you, dearie. As she walks over to you and she gives you a hug, a rather motherly hug. You get the impression that Connie told her mother. She didn't tell her father.
That's how it is.
So dinner is ready, and
okay.
They lead you through. There are chairs on either side for her parents, a pair of chairs for you, and then 5 other chairs around the table. Christmas dinner is served, Christmas lunch is served, whatever you want to call it. And for the first sort of 15 or 20 minutes, it's kind of awkward until the 6-year-old, a girl, turns around and says, "So you're Connie's girlfriend then?"
Sorry, but things they are writing.
Yeah, just ignore the chat.
It can't.
You better.
Yeah. I just close it.
Close down so you can see what we're writing.
Yeah. Who said it? The girl, right?
The youngest child, the 6-year-old
youngest child.
sister
Ah.
of Connie. Says, "So you're Connie's girlfriend?"
Yes, I am.
Cool. That's so modern.
She laughs at that comment. It's really something.
She you notice the little one, and you notice the little one is sort of paying particular attention to your hand. "So did that hurt?" she asked.
Right to the critical questions I'd like to know myself. So I was thinking that Farron and Connie made some backstory up, unless they decided just to be honest about, well, maybe she was with her mother already, but Farron doesn't know. Basic knowledge about the stuff it wouldn't hurt, right? I mean, you're under anesthetic.
You're under anesthetic.
Yeah, you get amputated. Then, oh, no, it didn't hurt at all. You aren't even awake if they replace your arms.
Oh, because Jimmy at school said that they make you stand there and watch while they rip your arms off.
I think he was just trying to scare you.
Oh, okay.
You can trust me, it doesn't hurt at all.
Oh, good. So what cool stuff have you got in your arms?
Actually, I think it's good. Oh, they're just fairly normal, just a little bit more of protection if something happens to me. I mean, accents can happen all the day, and customization so it fits my general. No one would say my general agility, so I'm kind of confused.
Dexterity would probably be manual dexterity, stuff like that. Just general terms for that.
They're just customized that way that they wear like my real arms just a little bit better.
Oh, cool. And then the next youngest, who looks to be about 7 or 8 years old, a boy, says, "So have you got a gun in your arm?"
Oh, no gunning.
No? Oh.
No.
What about a sword? Have you got a sword?
Saying that she has wouldn't really make a good impression on Connie's parents. Can I try to judge them how they feel about this conversation, or how they were thinking about this right now?
You don't really know them well enough to be able to judge their intentions in any way.
Yeah, I thought about maybe how their expressions right now look, if they're more at ease or kind of tension.
Connie's mother is sort of just watching this play out. Connie's father is interested in what you're going to.
Yeah, much. Quick look to Connie. How does she look?
She's got that sort of deer in the headlights look on her face, because she knows what you do for a living and what you've got in your arms, and she's you kind of, it's hard to really.
So she has that, please don't say anything stupid. They don't know.
No, it's sort of just abject terror.
I have an idea. So no swords or any weapons at all in my arms, and at the moment where maybe both the parents don't really look, she gives him a wink, the one who asks, because he seems clearly interested. But
well, he's a boy.
Yeah,
of course he's interested.
Obviously. So I just hope they don't see that she said she didn't, but actually gave the little one some hope that she actually has something, but don't acknowledge that she has anything bigger.
Okay. The only cyber implant weapon that's legal in Britain at this time is shock hand. So maybe you want to admit to having those. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, but why would self-defense?
Exactly.
Yeah, then she the same thing, but just I don't have any swords or anything like that in my hands besides shock hands, but those are just for self-defense.
Oh, the boy seems genuinely crestfallen.
Yeah, but there still is the wink to him, so he gets if he did maybe they are smart than she just said.
Okay.
Just not to make him feel sad. Doesn't have to be true, even though it is.
Okay. Over the course of Christmas lunch, the conversation is much like that. You know, they're trying to get to know you. They're asking you questions. You are probably thinking too much about your amnesia, and I don't know, as opposed to maybe telling them what you do know of the last year or so of your life that you do remember and have. You know.
That's why I said before that maybe the both of them, the two of them, prepared for those questions and.
Yeah, you probably did.
Yeah.
Connie's not Connie's a smart girl.
Also, I would have done the same and would have actually said, but I didn't remember saying you telling that, but we can just say we did.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because-
I know you did mention it the other days. So you go through, give off your pre-planned stuff. Obviously, the stuff that isn't purely planned comes off better. But you get the feeling of by the time dessert is over, most of the family have warmed to you. Connie's mother was already, it's a girl's mum. Of course she's going to like whoever her daughter's in love. It's what mums do. Dads, on the other hand, are the exact opposite. Always have been, always will be. It's a story as old as time. But by the time you leave on Christmas Day, her father, as you're walking out the door, her father comes up to you and offers you his hand. He's like, not sure if I approve, but my little girl seems happy, and that's all I care about. As long as she stays that way, we won't have any issues, will we?
We won't.
After her father shakes your hand and heads off to get another can of lager from the fridge, because it's Stella Artois. That's what they drink. And he is wearing a vest as well by this. One of Connie's sisters, she's about 12, comes over, and you've been able to tell for days that, for hours, that she's had something on her mind. She comes over, she says, I love your tail. It looks so soft and silky. Can I?
Your sister may not really approve, but sure, go ahead.
Connie's already moving the tail over towards the younger sister. By the time you say yes, go ahead. And the two of them basically stand there for like 2 or 3 minutes, just sort of fangirling over the tail. Fluffy tail is getting a fan club. That fan club is growing.
Now in movies, fluffy tail.
Yes, you too can have fluffy tail for Christmas. Goes off without a hitch for most of you. 2 of you obviously aren't awake, really.
Best Christmas ever.
Yeah, tell me about it. It gets to the 27th, which is the day after Boxing Day, and it's still a bank holiday. Public holiday. Christmas is still going strong, but the shops are open and everyone is now off shopping in the Christmas sale.
Replacing the gifts.
Swapping gifts, replacing gifts, spending Christmas money, buying additional gifts to go with gifts, accessories, add-on, optional extras, modifications, all the usual stuff that, someone gets given a comlink for Christmas and they don't get given, XYZ ABC, you go off after in the sales and buy XYZ ABC for it. It's the usual thing.
Are there Christmas sales for military grade implants and such?
No.
In Blackbush?
I will just a question. Does low essence really make me less edible for infected?
Nope.
There's less meat on you.
Strain 1, yes, because they eat essence, no blood or meat or anything like that.
Yeah. Luke Garrow
the skin.
No, doesn't matter. It's still biology. It's still edible. Might not taste very nice, but it's still edible. And and as we discovered, it can be cooked such that it's crackling.
I mean, orthoskin and bone lacing aluminum and probably some armored stuff.
So if a Luke Garrow eats you, he would just say, ugh, tastes like soy.
Sort of. I mean, the bone lacing obviously isn't, but the orthoskin is still BioWare.
Well, the thing with aluminum is that it's very non-reactive, right? So it probably doesn't taste like much.
I need to buy dragon skin or shark skin upgrade for orthoskin.
It'll just make you more crispy.
No, get the blubbery one, the one that has lots of fat. So you're all
yeah, penguin blubber.
So
you just have to put a couple of not chemical glands exactly, but reservoirs of and fill them with wolfsbane. So if he eats you, he's in for a nasty surprise.
Ooh,
a couple of cranial bombs.
Or you could be like Venus and be completely and utterly unlikable. So nobody wants to eat you.
Well, when push comes to shove, Venus would make a great meal.
There's less meat on her than there is on Wayfarer by a long way.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if Cat likes chewing on ceramic plates.
No, Venus won't really be of that palatable. She has cybernetic skin. Wayfarer has bionet. Wayfarer is much.
So, on top of the list for Cat is Lycan, Farron, me, Wayfarer, and Venus.
Lycan, Farron has cybernetic arms. That what?
Yeah, but those are just arms.
Yeah, but the rest of you.
Wait, why was I on top of the eating?
Because you're magically active.
Oh, of course.
Because you don't have so much cyberware.
And you have the
Also
highest
because
essence.
I'm delicious.
You're also the sportiest
Okay,
of the bunch. So.
Yeah, leanest meat.
But no, I don't think
it's
it's
natural. It's organic.
So I heard Madame Zhao is waiting for you.
So?
Okay. Lycan spends a day in a clinic and then a few days recovering.
Yep.
And then Kat and Lycan go and see Madame Zhao.
Yeah. How effective is the allergy spell? Like, does it work as specified?
Yep. It will reduce the allergy by
per hit.
Yep. However, it will need to be cast at a force equal to... Yeah, I mean, if you cast it at like force 4, you'll be fine.
I don't think it... Like, that's what I say. It doesn't require a force. It doesn't have a force requirement.
No, but it's a way of magically getting around one of the only penalties you have now. So it does now.
For this energy, it does.
Yeah, it's like the gene wear that reduces allergies by 1 per time you have it done. It doesn't specifically says in the gene wear that it cannot affect things like a ghoul's allergy to sunlight, and so it wouldn't work on that, and it wouldn't work on Lycan's allergy to dust. However, they can still be done by magic. Problem with magic is it's kind of weird, and it's a get out of jail free clause in almost every situation. So you can cast it, and it will have an effect, but if you cast it at too low a force, that may not be of much use.
Can it reduce it below mild?
Yeah, I think it's gonna require sustaining. So.
I mean, mild allergy is just a nuisance anyway. So
mild allergy is still a -2 penalty under all circumstances. Mild allergies are still nothing to be scoffed at. They're still significant.
Yeah, but much less than a severe one. And I don't know. Just having it completely gone, I don't know. That feels kind of wrong.
It does feel kind of wrong, and casting it force 1 with reagents also is kind of wrong in all circumstances. So
the allergies is of rating 3, so to speak, because it's severe. Could I cast the spell at force 3 and reduce it to mild with 3 hits?
Yes.
Will that work? All right.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that. I was thinking about making it force equal to your essence, but that seems a bit too harsh.
Well, it's slightly easier now.
Yeah, in 5th edition, though, most people aren't equipped to sustain force 5 spells because reagents have broken the magic system.
Well, I mean, you can do it with 1 or 2, but then you are already incurring into the foci addiction.
Yeah, well, no, not that much.
Anyways, so, I would ask Madame Zhao to meet us at night.
Madame Zhao, it gets dark at 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, there's at least 2 hours of business trading each day at this time of year. So it's not a problem to go at the dark.
Well, good.
I freeze this up there.
Yeah, it's, the weekend between Christmas and New Year. So,
Kat will let Madame Zhao know that, know in advance.
That's cool. She doesn't seem to mind.
And they will show up.
Okay, so if we make it an appointment, Kat and I, that we are going to see Madame Zhao on that date. And Kat is going to tell her in advance. Lycan will probably ask Kat to tell her that she's coming as well.
Well, I imagine Lycan has actually already contacted Madame Zhao to ask her to make the foci for your...
Yeah, probably. It would make sense if I do have contact info. I'm not sure if I do because she's not on my list.
You will have her contact info, but she's not a contact yet.
Oh, okay. I just know how to contact her. Okay, that's fine.
Yes, because you've had a conversation. You haven't had any business dealings as such, so I tend to limit contacts as official contacts until that point.
Yeah, of course. I just didn't know if I had any way to contact her, but it's fine. I'll let her know so that she can make it for me.
You've been to her shop, and her shop is listed in the yellow matrix pages. So
the yellow matrix pages.
So yeah, you go there. Call it 5 p.m. Sun will definitely be down by then. You find High Wycombe is as busy as any other commercial area, any retail area. Shops are open, bars, clubs. The train station is getting a bit of a workout. It's just across the road from Madame Zhao's place. You manage to find somewhere to park in the mall, and you walk through and walk around. 5-minute walk. It's not a big deal. It's a nice brisk walk that doesn't seem to really bother either of you. You're wrapped up nice in insulated armour. And Madame Zhao's shop is the same as ever. When you open the door, the bell rings, old-style doorbell. You see the young girl that's always there, stood behind the counter. She's actually serving customers today. There's a few other people around, sort of browsing, mainly in the area of the shelves where she keeps her popularist mundane bollocks.
as opposed to actual magical wares. People picking up trinkets and stuff, and usual stuff that mundanes buy from these sorts of shops, even in the early 21st century. It still continues into the Sixth World. Madame Zhao is talking to a prospective customer. You see, she's basically reading someone's aura to probably design a custom focus for them. The gentleman is fairly old. He's in his 50s, fairly thin, wiry build, with a cane and a monocle, or old style nose spectacles, thin wire rim thing.
Actually, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Cat has changed, what does he look like?
Well, his description says nostrils flare up, which I don't think makes much sense. So I think he has elongated teeth, and the ears have grown too, similar to an elf's, maybe longer.
He's also, his arms are significantly longer than they were.
I don't think I get reach, do I?
You do, and he also moves quicker, both initiative wise, and also physically moving.
Yeah, that would have been probably one of the, especially for someone who's trained to notice those things, that would have been very noticeable.
But he doesn't get like a fur and sharp teeth and werewolf-like features.
Sharp teeth, yes.
Sharp teeth, okay.
Yeah, let me read you the description. Ears become elongated, the nostrils flare and are more pronounced, and lips draw back from sharpened teeth.
Okay,
Oh,
nice.
Close to. Yeah, I think you are mistaken with the harvester, Iron.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't there a description for Luke?
I thought Luke Guru still got reach.
Don't they also get fur?
No reach. It is the harvesters who get the reach, I think. Nope.
Yep, you're right. Initiative, natural armor. You've got natural armor, so your skin's a bit tougher. And initiative dice and movement rate.
Kid.
But yeah,
Okay.
He probably looks a bit more. I keep
Hairy.
thinking bat-like for some reason.
He does have just pronounced canines and claws as opposed to fingernails.
I actually thought they would have fur or something like that. No.
They have short greyish pelt.
You have?
It says in
Yeah,
description.
according to Wikipedia, but Wikipedia is outdated.
Also in the Howling Shadows.
Okay, sure. Right.
No.
Howling Shadows, it says?
Yeah, these creatures grow. When a human is infected with strain 2, they undergo a violent, painful transformation into these creatures, growing a short, grayish black pelt, razor-sharp teeth, claws, pure black eyes, which possess phenomenal vision and significant muscle density. And then just continuing with that they are like legends of werewolves.
Okay, that isn't mentioned in Run Faster for the player character stat.
All right, that's super weird.
Yeah. Definitely. It's not a big deal. Okay, so yeah, that's what he looks like now. He's wirier, stronger, he's got claws, and that's about it.
Right.
Oh, and slightly more pronounced sharpened.
Hello, Lycan.
Hello. How are you?
Christmas go.
Oh, it was great actually. Yeah, it was very nice. What about you?
Yeah, I've been busy. I want to visit the Ghoul community and, been back and forth.
So how did it go? Was it okay? I don't know.
Well, it is something to get used to. That's for certain.
Right. I mean, still, if you need any help of any sort, I'll still want to help you. I know I'm not around anymore, but you can always call and tell me or ask me whatever. Really.
Much appreciated. But
it's good to see you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Let's go. She must be waiting for.
Okay. By the time you've had the conversation, general chit-chatted for a few minutes, Madame Zhao is indeed free.
Madame Zhao.
Kat, hello.
Hi.
Good to see you.
How was Christmas?
Rather uneventful. How was it for you and yours?
Yeah, it was nice. It was quite family Christmas.
It is the best kind. So, shall we get down to business?
Yes, definitely. Hello, Lycan. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine. So it's Happy Christmas, or it's a little late for that, but you know what I mean.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, yeah. That's what you're supposed to say right now. I've been to the clinic. I think I lost track of time, really. But it's good to see you.
She looks you over and says, yes, I see you've had some work done.
I had some work done indeed.
She seems to be looking at your hands, plural. Well, that does lead us on perfectly to why you're here, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm getting upgraded a bit.
Indeed.
And you mentioned earlier that you would like to do some enchanting for me if I ever wanted to have it.
Indeed, yes. I am. As I said, weapons foci are not my speciality, but I wouldn't be much of an artificer if I weren't able to turn my hand to all kinds of foci.
Oh, but I have faith in you. I've seen what you've done. I like your work a lot, so.
Well, why don't you to come out the back and I will show you what I have for you. She seems quite pleased with herself at this point as she leads the two of you out into the back room where you had conversations before. Okay, Kat. First things first, she goes over to basically a wardrobe, a tool cupboard, and gets a small. Well, she actually gets 2 boxes from it. Both of them are about 45, 50 centimeters. Yeah, about half a meter in length and probably about 15 centimeters wide. Both made of what looked like good quality wood. You'd have to check physically to see if it was actually good quality wood or just veneer or something. But she sets one down on the table and brings one over and unclips the clasp at the front of the box and opens it up. I trust this meets your expectations, Kat.
And what is it?
Inside is what looks like a slightly long-handled knife. It's glowing on the astral. It's obviously a weapon focus. Force 4, I believe it was.
The axe was Force 2.
Was it Force 2? Okay, Force 2. So you can easily tell it's a Force 2 weapon focus. And she hands it to you, taking out the box. And she notices that it mostly fits your hand. Obviously, your hands have changed since last she saw you, so the personalized grip doesn't quite work for you, but that's easily a change. Well, after our last conversation, you left it with me to decide what would be an appropriate tool for you. And in light of Lycan acquaintances, I figured you would appreciate this. It can be used in this shape. It can be bonded, and you will get the benefit of the enchantment regardless. But in this shape, it's a knife, really. Quite a useful, potent weapon in and of itself. Not something to be overly concerned about in the grand scheme of things. But it is a nice weapon nonetheless. However, you see that little stud hidden there in the.
Cat's trying the knife around, fishing, moving it, and he will hit the button.
When you hit the button, the shaft extends massively into a spear. It is
Nice.
a collapsible spear. It becomes more dangerous. It will be able to cut through armor better, and it is a weapon of significant reach. It feels well balanced, even considering the fact that the personalized grip doesn't quite fit you just yet. But it's a well balanced weapon, graceful, purposeful, everything that Madame Zhao thought would be appropriate for you.
It is, if outdone yourself once more, Madame Zhao.
As is appropriate for a weapon of this advanced nature, it is wirelessly active. So if you wish to subscribe it to your pan, you will be able to extend and retract it without using the button. It's a little bit easier to do.
That is great. And Kat will basically play with the spear a bit.
Oh, that is so cool, Kat. Can I see it? Lycan asks and reach out for it. She means seeing by holding it.
Kat will offer the butt of the spear. Actually, he'll try to spin it around and retract it into the knife form and offer the knife.
That's easily done. You have the blade skill at a decent level, so not a problem at all. Yeah, it's a Force 2 collapsible spear, weapon focus.
And how much do I owe you for this?
I was able to move the axe that you brought in. So don't worry about it. I think I might actually have made a few thousand new yen on the deal. But yeah, you'll be pleased to know that the enchantment does include some reagents that are aspected and dedicated to Kat. Not a totem I'm used to using for weapon foci per se, but the option is there if you choose to take it.
That is most thoughtful.
Young Lycan, here we go.
Yep.
She hands you the other box. You can tell now, but that they've been opened, that they are actually stained oak boxes, of themselves worth not an inconsiderable amount. She puts the box in your hand and undoes the clasp at the front and opens it up so that you can see 3 spur blades, each one about 35 centimeters long, with the appropriate attachments at the end to be mated with the cyber implant equipment. They look like each blade is like the modern, as in now, armor-piercing combat knives. So like a samurai sword, but instead of having a curved end, it's actually an angle. There's actually a proper angle there. It's 2 straight edges.
Oh, yeah.
On each one, designed to punch through armor with great ease, despite the fact that the alloy does contain a small trace of orichalcum. He says, you put the box down and start inspecting each one.
Yeah, I do. While Lycan is like, oh, this is so nice. This is so cool. And she takes them up and looks at them each, and single one of them, turns them around, inspecting them.
Each one has been etched with runes, and the runes are Norse runes, I should say. If you were to get them translated, they would say something. I'll text you. I'll message you what to say. But
yeah,
they're Norse runes, and they are etched very finely, very, very well done. Before the smoking was applied, the staining. So the inside after the staining was applied to the blade. So the inside is sharp, is shiny, silvery color, as you would expect from a blade, whereas the outside is the sort of black matting color.
Nice.
That you get on combat knives and stuff. So she says, it's been a while and I'm a bit rusty, but would you like me to install them for you?
Yeah, sure. Lycan says a little too eagerly, but she's, yeah, sure. As she thinks about it, she's, I have totally faith and you can do that. So
she asks you to sit down and put your hand on the side, and she gets out a toolkit, and over the course of the next 10 minutes or so, she is able to remove the spurs you already have installed, just factory mass-produced quality, but still mass-produced and not really suitable for enchanting. And to install these, as you retract them for the first time, you get the feeling that the Wolf is pleased that they are in your body. She sees a look on your face and says, yes, I used reagents dedicated to Wolf in their construction as well. Both of these weapons are made by me, so should you wish to improve the enchantment at some point, it won't be easy, but I can do it myself.
Right, but this is totally... I felt any weapon that feels like it's so connected to me before. It's very nice work.
That is because the enchantment was made with reagents connected to Wolf, and as we discussed last time, Wolf does favour weapon foci in my experience, and so weapon foci made in his honour, I've been told, feel, how did he put it? They feel as if they are made for the individual to exact, how did he put it? Glorious combat. Yes, that was.
Yeah, I can feel that, actually.
So I hope they will serve you well.
I hope so too. I do not doubt they will.
Lycan, give me a sensing test.
It's just sensing. I'm too far away from my sheet.
You get +3 dice test.
I get nice. All right. Right. 2 hits.
You notice that the artificer's signature of both of your weapon foci are the same.
Right. What does that mean?
It means Madame Zhao created the first set of spurs you had while you were still service Gallagher.
Right. Lycan would, as she noticed that, she look at Madame Zhao and said, but this, you made the first ones, didn't you?
She just smiles. As I said, we have some similar acquaintances.
It certainly seems like it.
It's almost as if some of those acquaintances consider my work of such high standard that they insist that certain other groups within the country, whose equipment must be beyond flawless, are given my creations as well. Madam, I cast you a knowing smile. She knows exactly where you got those your first focus from.
Lycan just smiles back at her and says, yeah, sure. She gets a little if Kat's there to see it, at that point, she will be a little more tense than she was the moment before, because she's actually not supposed to let people know about who she is or where she came from.
Whoosh, whoosh. Cat's playing with his new spear.
So that's Cat. So Cat doesn't notice that. That's fine.
Yeah, you do notice that he is about to compute a test to connect his spear to his pan.
Nice.
Oh shoot! Now my logic is like not nothing at all. I have to search this skill.
Do you even have?
I think so.
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
the right
buy
answer.
it back.
Right, so you're defaulting to 1 dice for your computer.
Look at that.
Oh my god, you got a hit.
Ooh, that was lucky.
Yeah.
Okay, you've managed to slave it to your pan, and Cat is now sort of doing sort of various twirly flourish spin draw maneuvers with extending as he spins, and I think at one point he may well have knocked something off of a table.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, he's definitely a kid in a candy shop, but with a new toy right now. So he's not paying any attention to what you and Madame Zhao are talking about.
Oh, perfect. So at that point, Lycan would just again thank Madame Zhao for her nice work and make the transfer of Nguyen that she.
As you're paying the bill, Madame Zhao leans close and says, "Thank you and your brothers and sisters for all that you've done for us over the years and continue to do for us. If you need anything,
Madame Zhao,
I will.
Before we leave, I wanted to challenge your skills once again.
Madame Zhao looks up from her comlink, which she has about as much luck using as Cat does. Oh, really? And which kind of focus would you like to commission now, Cat?
I was thinking of sustaining focus. Cat has been gracious enough to help me with my new situation. She's taught me a spell that I think I greatly benefit from being able to sustain. But here's the catch. I would like it as a tattoo. I don't know if you'd be able or willing to try that. I understand it's risky.
To what, sorry?
Tattoo sustaining focus.
Oh, you want... I do know the technique. However, I would need to discuss with some of my peers with regards to the proper safety precautions.
Of course.
I don't foresee it being a massive problem, but it's not something that I will be able to do in the near future. Tattoo focus creation takes a while, and it's not something that I can do in your absence. So
yes.
Yeah, I will get back to that within the next few days.
Excellent.
Oh, are you getting a tattoo, Cat?
I think I'll let, once again, Madame Zhao have a say on that. She's going to be the one doing all the work. But, I don't know. I think aesthetic measures are a bit low on my priority.
Oh, I think it's cool. What would you like?
I was thinking an oak tree. It's a health focus. Oak's tree life seems to make sense to me.
Yeah, sure. It would fit you well.
The oak, that most gracious of trees, which has blessed our nation with weapons and armour and protection and shelter and hearth and home. There's almost nothing that we haven't been able to turn the oak's strength to. Yes, that would be appropriate.
Madame Zhao, are you an enchantress or are you a poet?
Cat
will say with his charisma 1.
Art takes many forms.
Like in Gren.
And in order to truly appreciate the nature of reagents, one must be able to appreciate their significance. I do enjoy working with oak. The texture, the feel, the significance of it. It speaks to me in a way that no other wood does.
I completely understand that. As in a sense, as beautiful as this spear is, I keep regretting it's not a solid length of oak. Alas, the sacrifices we must do for our job.
Making oak that is able to retract as that is far beyond anything that we can do.
Yes. I was just being hopeful, not wistful.
Yes, I have made foci with oak. Spears and pole axes and things. Very, very effective. Perhaps not so much for totems as you two have, but yes, difficult to hide, and I think you'll find not quite as sturdy as the haft of the spear you have there.
Yes, your craft better than I would.
Would you two care? Oh, Lycan, would you care for tea?
Yes, please.
I would offer you some, Cat, but I don't believe No, I'm afraid I don't have anything that wouldn't upset your system.
That is okay, Madame Zhao. I am actually curious about appreciating your tea in new ways. I've noticed that my sense of smell has improved manifold.
Yes, that's quite common for the infected.
I'm very curious to see what your tea smells like.
Really? Your sense of smell has improved?
Yeah.
So what do I smell like?
The fuck does Lycan smell like?
I don't know.
Probably
it's up
like
to you.
too much food late. Also, I don't know, does she work out like daily or almost daily? I would assume she does.
No, not really. Not that much, I think.
Well, it depends on what she did after she left the military, where she had to work out daily. Whether she sort of rebelled and said screw that, or whether she kept it going as a
Oh, she
a
keeps
personal
it going.
touchstone.
She keeps it going.
Yeah, so she probably does work out most days.
I'm certain she does. I always imagine that person sound.
Smell like weapon oil and sweat.
Oh, really? I do?
No more than anybody else. But you're an active person. You smell like physical strength.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice. I can live with that.
It smells like danger too.
Cool. Nice.
Keep raising my hackles. Is that the expression? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually, I think, do you have anything to do? I think we should leave Madame Xiao to her business, and you and I have new toys to try
but
out.
I'm having a cup of...
Oh, that is true. I'm sorry.
You can stick around if you like.
Oh, yes. As I said, I plan on trying out this new spear, and I think you have a new toy to try too.
That spear is so... I'm a bit jealous.
What do you say we do some sparring afterwards?
Yeah, sure thing.
Madame Zhao brings over a blend of herbal tea with some spices that really give you the sense of the season. You know, it smells of Christmas. It smells a bit like a mince pie, but without the nasty mint.
Nice.
Sort of cinnamon. Those sorts of spices that you typically find around Christmas.
Oh my goodness! I never really appreciated your tea for what it was worth.
Yes, it is a rather aromatic blend, this one, isn't it? And like and enjoy their tea and small talk and stuff, and I'm assuming they head off to bond their new foci?
They do.
Yeah,
okay.
Do some friendly sparring.
Yep, so you find somewhere and bond your foci in the appropriate rites of your traditions and do some sparring, and you find that Lycan's two-handed spur style is not quite as you're not able to overwhelm her as easily as you would expect with your new spear. Basically, she has one point of reach. You have three. She's as proficient as you would expect a sword user to be against.
Mm-hmm.
You both, work up a good sweat and have a new appreciation of each other's fighting styles and abilities.
Yeah. Lycan would notice that while channeling, what Kat would totally do for this fight, he has 16 dice for dodging.
Okay, so he's very hard to hit, actually.
Yeah, very hard to hit.
And she'll probably compliment. She likes to cheer up people, and if they're doing anything, she seems is nice still.
Those are some surprisingly good moves you can pull off with that thing.
Yeah, I know, right? I got them for a reason, But you're actually a pretty tough target.
Yeah, I noticed I can move significantly faster.
Oh, really? The infection did that to you? I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know about infected, but that's good, I guess.
Either that or you've gotten fat over Christmas.
Oh, please. I didn't eat that much. And even if I did, I think if I got fat, it was for eating your stuff.
I don't want to take any more the spotlight. Does a camera cut to Venus and Wayfarer floating on a pad?
Yep, it does. Venus and Wayfarer are still floating in their tanks, enjoying their sensory deprivation non-better-than-life chips. The odd bubble escaping from their noses or something. We'll fast forward to the 29th of December, and on the 29th of December, I believe Farron and Lycan are going to the Royal Institution in London.
Yeah, we are.
I'm also going to the Royal Institution, because why not?
Okay.
Does Kat want to join us?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would try to.
Okay, it's a good chance to try out your new spell.
Yep, I was a bit worried about, getting stopped and whatever.
How long does...
Sustained.
Okay.
So yeah, you get to the Royal Institution and you see that, it's a fairly old school lecture hall, quite steep sides with a old style blackboard that's about 14 feet, which is it's about 5 meters high and about 8 meters across on one wall. It's just one big blackboard. It's really old style, old school. There's a bench in front of it for the lecturer to lecture behind. It's on a small raised stage, and there are cameras and such, matrix, trid cameras on the ground level in front of the stage, and several drones with cameras floating around. And you all, 4 of you, walk in and find a seat. Surprisingly, no one seems to really give that much of a crap about Cat being, about his infected status. Fairly soon, someone will come along and sit next to him if he's on one of the ends. No one seems to have a problem with it. And after probably about 10 minutes early, I guess, what you were?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The appropriate time should be 1 p.m. Dr. Vincent Grissom, THD, PhD, CEO of Blue Steel Industries, makes his way onto the stage. He's a familiar face for the 4 of you, one of you more than the rest. In fact, the last time Farron, Cat and Banshee saw this face, it was on a body that was wearing hardened armor on a boat in the Atlantic.
So now we know Ken is...
CEO of Blue Steel. Interesting.
Didn't you know?
Nope. I didn't know that Canis was.
You see the other faces that you saw on the boat in the front row, as well as an additional face that is sat with them. You imagine that was the rigger who was in the VTOL while they were on the ship with you. Someone who you heard referred to as Legion.
So everyone is here.
Yep, all 6 members of Team Black Wolf are in this book. Kenneth starts his lecture, and I'm not going to go through a 5-hour lecture on magical theory.
Oh, why not?
Maybe.
I was looking forward to that.
I have my papers prepared to take notes and stuff.
Maybe I'll do that on my own at some point when I'm really bored. Written down.
With a PowerPoint presentation and everything.
With a matrix presentation prepared by a device rating 26 Technomancer, yeah. So he starts off, and he's done this before. It's blatantly obvious. He's taught people before. You on the introductory thing, the speaker, the MC introduced Canis when he came off the stage, and he reeled off the fact that he has 5 doctorates, 2 THDs and 3 PhDs. So, it's not as if this guy hasn't been in lecture theatres, lecture halls many, 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 many times, both as a teacher and as a student. He goes off, and almost immediately he gets into the flow. He's fairly good at this stuff, and he's bringing up slides, drawing equations. He's actually using old-fashioned chalk on this old-fashioned chalkboard, and he's using the entire thing. He makes no effort to hide the fact that he's using a levitate spell to reach the top corner of the 5 meter by 8 meter chalkboard. And, he's drawing equations and diagrams, and, he's going through. The lecture is titled Astral Space and Us, and he's going through and drawing diagrams of, sort of how he views the relationship of various metaplanes and groups of metaplanes in connection to ours, and how, where he sees the connections between the deeper planes and the nearer planes. He mentions the plane of beasts and the plane of air and earth, and all of the traditional ones that most hermetics and shamanic and druidic mages will be familiar with. He mentions a few others. He mentions the domain of red, of black, of green, and then there's a big cloud right at the back, right at the top of this diagram. His perception and the way he mentally understands the metaplane. And he says, those ones up there, they're the ones that we don't go to if we can avoid it. There's lots of nasties there, some of which have made appearances in our world, some of which haven't, thankfully. That's an entirely different lecture. Not going to touch it. And he goes on to about the others and how you can, the best ways to goes through and around, and which planes are interconnected and which ones you have to come back through our plane to get to. And just it's a lecture that he's given several times before. Lycan and Kat, you both recognise this as sort of the introductory lecture on a postgraduate series on astral space. Slightly modified. A couple of times he makes jokes which just fall completely flat on anyone under the age of about 50, which is not that many people in this room, considering it's one person. He makes several jokes that just really do not make sense at all, just flow right over people's heads. And he makes some jokes that are very contemporary, very modern, that people do understand.
After the first few jokes that no one understands, don't know if they should laugh about.
Oh, no. I mean, they're mixed. They're not, unintelligible, incomprehensible, funny. It's sort of mixed in. Some of the jokes are falling so flat, it's unreal. Some of them are really, get a good giggle going. At one point, he At one point, he actually does something that you think is a mistake, but when everyone's laughing, you realise that he did it on purpose to hammer home a point and get a laugh. He's playing for the cameras. He's playing for the audience. He's performing at this point. He's not just lecturing. To Kat, some of what he's talking about doesn't quite make sense to you in the way you understand things, but you can see where he's coming from and are able to relate what he's saying and how he's viewing the different meta planes and everything else to how you view it. So you are able to get something from the lecture, even though you wouldn't teach it in the way he's doing it, per se. Lycan, this makes absolute complete sense to you. Everything you've learned about magical theory, this is just the next step, almost as if he taught the person who taught you. There are, lots of nodding faces. There's lots of people, lots of individual eureka moments as you look around the other faces in the room. It is being live cast across the Matrix on the Blue Steel and Neonet services for free. So everyone in the world who wants to could be watching this right now. And it's, he goes on for about 3 hours, calls a break, comes back, from, wherever he went. He's got a nice coffee. He's drinking his coffee, goes straight back into the flow, continues for another 2 hours or so. And then, and he says, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why the sky is blue.
Wow.
And he kind of smiles as a bit of a cheesy smile, as if he knows that last sentence is complete bollocks. But so are there any questions? People have been asking questions as they go through, and he's been conducting a fairly dynamic interview, lecture. People asking questions and stuff, and just he finishes off and he asks if there's any more. Any final questions or anything like that? Unless you guys put your hands up, there won't be anyone.
No, I do not put my hand up. I think Farron has a question, but I think it is a private question for later.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, that's not a question for...
Do Kat have some academic question?
I don't think so.
This is way above Lycan's level of magical theory. She's just paying attention.
So yeah,
she can't ask any qualified questions.
It is a bit above where she is currently, but it all making sense, and it is she is able to learn from what's being said.
Yeah, sure.
After there's no further questions, Canis goes and stands in front of the thing and says, thank you very much for your time. I hope this has been as educational and entertaining for yourselves as it has been for me, and I look forward to perhaps seeing some of you in future courses. UCL have approached me with possibly having a small postgraduate course, so keep an eye on the Matrix on these feeds, and we will provide information as and when those are available. And once I'm able to get back to MIT&T, there will be another course there. So good luck, and remember. He turns around and points to the sort of fluffy cloud icon right at the top of the board. Stay away from those ones, and happy travel.
Woo!
He bows as Lycan and most of the other people in the lecture theatre start applauding, and he heads off stage.
So Farron,
sorry, I was just writing some. So he just heads off stage. The two of them talked about that she wanted to talk with him. So I guess.
Farron, what was it you talked?
Oh, you could have just said that you were saying something in character. I think that he may be able to help with my problem.
Oh, yeah, maybe tell him that. I don't know. Lycan looks around to see if it looks like approaching Canis at this moment would be inappropriate or bother him in any way.
He's now down in the bowl of the lecture theatre, and people are coming up to him, and he's making a point of chatting with anyone who wants to talk to him. You get the feeling that you may have to wait a bit if you want to chat, but there's no indication that he wouldn't be prepared to speak to you.
Okay, fine. So we'll just wait in line.
Yeah.
I think if Farron walks over there, otherwise Lycan's just going up to say thanks and chat and tell him how awesome.
Farron would wait until it's more cleared up and he actually has time for a private talk. Because right now, if she was going to him and wanted to make a conversation, it would mean that he either has to stop talking with anyone who wants to talk with him, which makes me a complete asshole.
Yeah, of course. So.
Or he just has to say, yeah, we can talk, but wait, which I can already do now.
So while you're waiting, a rather large human walks up to Lycan.
Is that anyone I recognize?
Very much so.
Oh, fuck. So Lycan will say hi. So that was nice.
Belated Merry Christmas, Lycan. How are you?
Yeah, late Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, Happy New Year.
So how was Christmas for?
Yeah, it was strange. You Brits seem to do everything on the 25th.
Yeah, it's sort of like a tradition. How are you celebrating the 20th?
Well, Christmas Eve is when we've always done it.
Oh, we get drunk.
Yeah, from what I found out of you Brits, you kind of get drunk every day.
Oh, that's not true. Not every day. I mean, we do go to work and we have to have days for hangover.
Okay. I swear there's some people in the pub down the street from our apartment that they don't even have a hangover yet and are already drinking again.
Oh, that's probably true. But it's not everyone.
Okay. I'll have to take your word for that one. I haven't been to every pub in the country.
Oh, I haven't been to every country either. Don't think that about me.
Yeah. He just kind of looks at you and sort of cocks an eyebrow and smiles. So I see you've had a couple of upgrades.
Yeah, I did. Lycan's looks very, what do you say? She's happy that he noticed. She seems like it was the best thing he could say to her right now. And then she takes out her hands and looks at it and say, "Hey, would you like to see them? I don't know if it's appropriate in here. I might scare some people."
Yeah, sure. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
So, Iron, how many people are really around us at this moment?
You can easily find you just move over to the side away from where most people are.
Fine. So I'll walk over there and show him mine.
He looks at them and says, very nice workmanship. Do you know what these rooms mean?
No, not yet. Haven't looked it up.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with those either. So, but yeah, no, they look really nice. They add to the look. Really nice looking blade.
Yeah, Madame Zhao does very.
Madame Zhao. I think Candice has mentioned her.
Yeah, I think they know each other. She said that.
Yes, I met her once at a party. Someone brought a monkey because the monkey tried to drown a gnome in the punch bowl.
Wow.
That sounds like one hell of a party.
And then the pixie, tried to fly the monkey off and got dunked in a punch bowl. It was a hell of a party, actually, yeah.
Does sound like it.
Yeah, just watch out for monkeys. Well, it wasn't a monkey. It was, what are they called? Which one's that one that looks like monkey? They've got prehensile feet and everything. They're metahuman variant. Oh, either way, yeah. It was a hell of a party. I don't know what the hell they put in there, but it was a great party.
Sure. So can I see yours? I'm quite curious, actually.
Oh, yeah, sure. He extends the spurs from both of his hands. You see his have got... his are quite not delicate because they're blatantly weapons, but they're quite finely crafted. They have an orange tint, as if the blades themselves look like they're made with some orichalcum. There's a faint, like a claw on the side of each one, etched in like a single claw from what looks like a werewolf, a fantasy werewolf that you'd find on the Matrix, not a real one, like a wolf finger, bit like cats, just beefier, on the side of each blade, and that's been etched out really, really finely. Very good craftsmanship. Yeah, they're nice spurs.
Oh yeah, that's excellent work. But who did them for?
Who made them? It was our guy in the US.
Okay, but he's obviously very talented, very skilled.
Oh, he is, yeah. He's rated as a master craftsman, a master armor, and a master machinist. A guy who can turn his hand to making almost anything. But yeah, he did these, and he made my fangs as well. Lupus opens his mouth, and you see his canines extend down, and they also are enchanted.
Wow, that is so cool. I always wanted to have some of those.
Yeah, it was Candice's idea. He got them, when I was still at school. They're not particularly an effective weapon, really.
No, I wouldn't think so. I just think it's how do you say that? Like, it has so much character.
You see his canines actually look like canines. They look like they've just grown bigger, as if sort of the rest of his teeth have sort of moved to allow these really, really big, thick, what would look like, they kind of look like saber-toothed canines, but for humans. They're really, really big. They look exactly like a wolf's cane. They aren't very effective. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still effective, but they're not the most versatile of weapons. And Candice explained it as they help bring us closer to Wolf. And I must admit, having got them myself, I agree completely. I mean, having enchanted fangs is kind of an indulgence, but I can see where he's coming and why he got them when he was so young.
So do you bond your foci to as well? Because I did. Madame Xiao did with the spurs.
Yes, all of my weapon folk dedicated. I have no problems with my totem having dominion over my foci. He has dominion over me, so why should my weapons be any different?
I totally agree with you. Oh, don't mind if I ask. I just have to. Have you ever actually bitten some with fine?
Bitten? Yes. Well, I've used them on spirits more than I have on people.
Yeah.
Because some spirits, they have no concept of what combat is outside of the astral. And some of them are quite, particularly the more bestial ones, spirits of beasts and things like that. They tend to sort of fixate on one target or one prey as they think of it, and it's easier to flank them and get in their blind spot. In terms of people, yes, there was this one guy at the place. We were doing the thing, and he was really not a nice person. So I snuck up behind him and whipped his throat out.
Wow.
Yeah, well, he had it coming.
Well, at this point, Lycan looks over to Farron because he has to pay attention to whether or not she's going to talk to Canis, because I think Lycan sort of promised to support her in that, in a way.
Yeah,
so she's losing track of time because she's talking to one of the heroes, you know.
By the time Lycan and Lupus have finished their little mutual show and tell,
yeah,
Canis is sort of, there's very few people talking to Canis now. Probably about as good a time as any that Farron is going to get to talk to him.
So Lycan would say to Puss that, "Oh, it's so nice talking to you. I hope we can continue later. I just have to go to Farron because I promised to help her with something."
Yeah, sure, no worries. Nice talking to you again. And yeah,
he'll give her biggest smile.
He'll smile back. He retracts back into his mouth.
Put those things
they are
away.
so cool.
Yeah.
So Lycan comes over to Farron. Did you see that? Did you see those? Yes, fangs. That's so cool.
I have a tail.
Yeah, you have a tail.
I have fangs too now.
Oh, no. That's right, Cat is there. That's right, Cat, but it's, you're cool as
I
well.
think Cat's probably, like, you guys are doing your stuff. Cat's probably discussing magical theories with someone.
Okay, cool. It's not the same because you're not.
And I imagine Banshee sort of stood next to Cat, sort of doing the old, verbal tennis thing, just looking from one person to another, with it all going sort of largely over.
Yeah. And he's controlling himself not to fall asleep.
Actually, now that Banshee attended this lecture, can he get points in ranks in magical theory?
Yeah. This lecture counts as training for. Counts as instruction for ranks in magical theory.
Oh, Banshee, you're getting clever.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then, like, Cat will try to translate this magical theory stuff into guns and explosions.
Oh, so that's how it works.
Yeah, that's like when you try to bring down a building by going for the support structures. That's how you do it, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think we are talking to some, like, professor, like, old school elbow patches and stuff, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking with?
Yeah, this guy's sort of, when you first sort of trying to translate it into terms that Banshee can understand, he sort of starts looking aghast, and then he realizes what you're doing, and he sort of tries to help you, but his personal experience of shooting people in the face and blowing buildings up is not very high. But he is trying to. And between Cat and this other academic that Cat was talking to, you're able to sort of put the finishing touches on everything that Canis said, so Banshee can actually understand it.
Nice.
And then there was much rejoicing.
Eventually, Canis is sort of the last person speaks to him and walks off, and he looks over at Lycan and he kind of smiles as Lycan, Farron. How are you both?
We're good, thanks. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
And to you both.
Just survived a scary confrontation with parents of my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, that's, did it go okay?
I don't really think her father likes me that much, but the rest of them do.
Yeah, fathers are like that. And at this point, Vixen sort of walks up and hands him another cup of coffee and says, "My daddy likes you fine." Well, all right. Yeah. Okay, I'll be over here. Yeah, fathers never like their little girl's partner initially. Don't worry, he'll come around.
I hope
Probably.
so. Yeah, we have to see. If not, at least the mother seems to like me, which...
Well, that's most of the battle won, actually, if the mother likes you. So, pleased to see you two are here at the lecture. I hope you've were able to follow it.
Oh, it was so great. Very, very interesting and funny at some point.
Yeah. Unfortunately, some of my cultural references don't really seem to resonate with anyone who's under the age of about 35
so
or more.
You look like that.
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with people today? They don't know who Jet Black. I mean, come on.
They try to look. She totally got his jokes, but it doesn't work because she didn't, and she is not very good at pretending.
The Jet Black jokes.
Do neither of you know who Jet Black is?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
It's complicated, but as I told you in Chelsea, I'd like to talk about something which would explain why it's complicated.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's go and let's come with me. We'll find somewhere a little bit more private.
I would appreciate that.
Oh, should I stay here?
You already know it.
So you want me to come with you?
Unless Canis doesn't want you to, I have no problem with it.
Okay, fine.
His silence will be judged.
Canis leads you into an anteroom, one of the smaller rooms off of the lecture hall. There's a small table and chairs. It looks like sort of a dressing room that's been set up for him. There's some coats and clothing and a couple of briefcases and a couple of large duffel bags similar to the ones that Lycan and Banshee carry around with them most places. Well, in fact, there's 6 duffel bags, and there's a sort of a large stage container. Yeah, the large cases that stage crews take props and stuff around, with faint wheel tracks leading into it.
Okay. He
goes and sits down at a table with his coffee and says, so what did you want to talk to me about, Farron?
Well, you may not really remember, but I don't really remember the conversation. We had that conversation where you immediately knew that it may not be something I'd like to talk about when we talked about the wired reflexes and how old.
Okay, yeah.
The thing is, and I actually only told it to you because I think you're trustworthy and could be helpful with this problem, is that I have no idea about myself. Anti-wired reflexes and some other things are the only clues I have right now about my old life.
Your old life?
Yeah, you see, I have amnesia and the person I am right now only exists for 2 years now.
Okay. Right. So what did you want my help with exactly?
You seem to be a person who has seen a lot, knows a lot of people, and has a lot of context. So I thought that we could help each other. Like, if you could try to find something out, I, in return, could do something for you, though I don't even know what that could be, as you're the CAO of Bluesteel Industries, but it has to be something I can do as exchange.
No, that's just my cover. I'm still a Shadowrunner.
Yeah, but still, I don't think there's much I can offer that you don't already have. It's what I meant.
I'm also a Johnson. At some point, there will probably be something that I need doing. Fine, not a problem. So what exactly do you need to know? Or what exactly do you want to know?
Well, the easy answer to that would be who I was. Because right now, I don't even know my name or my actual age. Though
You're 84 years old.
Well, how old are you? 84?
Yep.
Holy.
I am fairly adept at reading people, reading their auras. And when I read your aura, that's what I get.
Wow, Farron, you certainly are 80.
And yes, you are Irish. Well, your accent is genuine. And other than that, I can't really say, because Tinanog is one of the few places in the world that I've never actually run. I've been there for business purposes, but it's not somewhere that I've really gotten involved in. I used to run with a Decker who was an outcast from one of the Danan families. I suppose I could see if he's still alive. He may be able to provide some more information on the inside, but other than that, I'm not really sure how I'd be able to help you.
You already helped me with finding out my age, so maybe that contact of yours can provide some additional information or can do something that makes me able to get something out of this, but anything would help.
Okay. I'll see if he's still around.
I would appreciate that.
Okay. But yeah, you look somewhat shocked at how old you are.
Yeah, well, look, I know elves don't really age that much, but still, I wouldn't have thought I would be dead. I thought I would maybe be somewhere in the age I look like, which is why I'm kind of shocked right now. Well, not kind of, actually shocked about the age.
Yeah, you were a spike baby. You were actually born before the Awakening.
Wow.
Yep. So, yeah, you're quite old.
Yeah, saying that I'm quite old doesn't really make me any better. It doesn't make me feel any better. Well, I guess it's fine as we live.
Well, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, you're probably only about a third of the way through your life, maybe half your natural lifespan.
Oh, and being that old, I'm sorry,
natural lifespan.
Being that old, Farron, it's actually an achievement. Oh, I don't expect I will live until until smile.
Yeah, I guess so.
As if this was the most natural thing to say.
At which point, Lycan gets a private DNI from Canis. It's the equivalent of us being like 50. But yes, it is an achievement. I mean, you've obviously got some combat experience. Some of them were recent combat experiences, lying unconscious at the feet of some Luke Guru who you really don't want to be unconscious in front of, but we won't.
Thanks for remembering.
But yeah, I mean, your implants are obviously combat grade. Okay, fine. Some of them, these arms are not state of the art anymore, but they're definitely a combat augmentation.
Yeah, and they definitely helped me quite a lot until now, so I'm really glad I have them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's an achievement you live to be that old because you obviously lived a dangerous life.
Yeah, you said you had wired reflex?
Yes, I had them removed not long ago.
Yeah, synaptic booster. Okay, yeah, makes more sense. Wires never were very good on the Essence. So if your wires were... Okay, in that case, at some point, you were considered highly capable. Just looking at what you've got now, and not the tail, that's quite new. And if you had wires, I would imagine you would have been, seen as a fairly skilled and valued asset at some point by someone.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what happened that I don't remember anything. And why, at least until now, no one seemed to bother where I am. Not that I don't mind that much.
That is often a good thing.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really mind, but I still want to know what happened, who I was.
I can understand that. That it eats away at you not knowing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep my ear to the ground. If I do anything, I'll let you know. A picture, he says as he taps the side of his head. So if you want Vixen to run some stuff.
Only if she doesn't mind.
Yeah, she is somewhat easy to persuade. I'll ask her. I'll see what she can figure out.
Thank you very much, Canis. And she extends her hands.
Canis shakes your hand and turns to Lycan and says, nice, bud.
Thank you.
You probably should learn masking at some point. Those things are quite bright.
Yeah, I am. I'm on my way to that.
Good. Yeah, masking is always help.
But we are thankful help us with that, and I will be happy to repay you some time, like Farron. If you need anything? Well, she's my friend, so I'm just helping her.
Canis turns and sort of raised eyebrow. Duly noted. If I have need of your services, I'll give you guys a call.
Do you just miss something, or why you raised?
I can judge intentions roll if you wish.
Yeah, I guess it was something I just didn't really listen to what Nate just said because I was reading something, but still need two hits. Oh, no, I know that she said that we will help him with, but I don't really know why the raised eyebrow. Yeah, 2 hits. I don't think I know anything.
Oh.
He is a Mysterio.
He is, yes.
Oh, I totally trust him.
Of course you do.
Well, I'd meet you for dinner, but I believe we have reservations. I'll ask Vix and she...
Yeah, don't think about it. It's fine.
Okay. I noticed your druid friend in the crowd with you. Is he handling the transition okay?
Seems to handle it okay.
Good. Always, it's the first...
Cat's doing explosion motions with his hands, and an old professor and Banshee are with him, and the three of them are like making weird noises.
It's the first sort of month. Well, Luke Goran. It's the first 2 months then that 10 worst. That first cycle is always jarring for them.
Yeah, I try to take care of him as much as I can, as much as I think he needs.
Yeah, my experience, don't make a big deal of it. But when his cycle arrives, just sort of point thing and just let him go.
Okay.
As I said, the first one is always going to be the most traumatic, but fairly strong. He have a huge difficult time adjusting to his new reality.
Yeah, he's tough. I think he handled it very well. Quite impressive.
At that point, Vixen walks into the room and says, Make dinner. We better be going.
Oh, we won't take any more of your time. Come on, Farron. Come.
She follows her, even though it sounds like Farron's not a dog who has to follow her.
It's just because Lycan didn't get embarrassed. She doesn't want to bother anyone.
Yeah, so Farron thanks Canis again and then follows the I don't want to be embarrassed Lycan.
Okay, so is there anything else anyone wants to do downtime?
Now I think we're good.
Okay.
Found out more than I thought I would find out this session.
5 hours later. 5 hours of downtime, love stuff.
I think my working for the people will be mostly talking to the Ghoul community and to Martin, and I'll probably buy them some new supplies and new stuff. I can probably show up with 20 fashion masks so they can wear them outside without drawing attention and that kind of stuff.
Okay, not a problem. A few of the ones who could use cyber eyes and stuff, but nothing too expensive, whatever it works out as. So not a problem.
Yeah, basically the 20k will go that way.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll make for a good few cyber eyes.
Yeah, that's still sort of 3 office for cyber eyes and some appropriate gear and toys and electronics or whatever. Possibly has some of their healing and whatever.
The Tops Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logo, artwork, marks, photographs, sounds, audio, video, and or any other proprietary material used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Tops Company Inc. has granted permission to Manor and Steel to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or proprietary information for promotional and informational purposes on its website and does not endorse and is not affiliated with Manor and Steel in any official capacity whatsoever. The artwork used in Manor and Steel was produced by Valgrind. The theme tune for Manor and Steel was created by Chris Glidden. Manor and Steel is created under a Creative Commons 4.0 attribution license. If you use any part of the show, please give us credit.